Hello, I'm MC Toon. It's Tuesday night, and we've got a special thing tonight. Little different from a lot of what I do where I have debates and stuff like that. This is the TikTokers that are globe heads, that are flat earth debunkers. So I've got with me here, what do you go with, go by on TikTok?
I go by Julius Dedekine on
Ju-
the, Julius.
Julius. All right. And hold on. So tell us a little bit about how you got into dealing with flat earth nonsense and why on TikTok versus elsewhere.
Yeah, it's totally by accident. I mean, when I started on TikTok, it was just doing cute videos. You know, my daughter, I've got a 13-year-old daughter who now, you know, she got me into it about a year ago, I think. And that's all we did. We would just do cute videos. We weren't really expecting anything out of it. And then I started getting into some more serious debates, mostly people who were pushing an anti-science agenda, mostly about COVID. And so I got into a little bit, and then just accidentally I fell into the event horizon of the flirtdom that is TikTok. And at first, I have to say that at first I didn't believe that these people existed. And I would go in with this very condescending. It was like, you just are absolutely, you have to be insane to believe this, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I started discovering these people were serious. I mean, they took it seriously.
Very serious.
Very seriously. And that shocked me. As a person with a mathematical background, it's just inconceivable. And yes, I know what that word means for those who who might be going to The Princess Bride. Yes, I know what the word, to me, it is inconceivable.
Say that word again.
Inconceivable.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think
that they should believe that they should believe that the earth is flat.
I had a clip. You didn't hear it. It was from Princess Bride. It was ready to go for you. I set you up. So, all right. So Brenda's asking for links. I have your link in the description already. Mm-hmm. So people can find you, but I will put it in the, let's see, can one of the mods grab it, please? I'd be a little slow and I'd be distracted. So there's two links that I put in there already. It's yours and is it Globy McGlobeface? I love that.
Globy McGlobe. Yeah, he should be dropping in anytime soon.
And then another one that goes by Not Flat, who I know from Facebook actually. And then another one, let's see, Globy McGlobeface. Oh, Nick, who has like 6 million views on one of his flat earth debunking videos on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's
a nice guy. I really like him. He's a lot of fun.
Let's see. Digital Demonic Davros says that he sent a TikTok in Discord DM. So a TikToker or a TikTok that you want shown, or it's him. It's himself. I'll open it. Hold on. He wants to promote himself. I'll do that. That's what I'm here for. I'll send it. Everybody, you go. There's another one for you. So, all right. So you happened into it, which I think is something that happens for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But because of your background, you were offended by it because it's just too stupid.
Yeah, and the level of, I mean, I had to delve into the psychology of why they believed it too. So there was a bit of kind of having to go and work, and also is that there's an epistemology component to this, is to understanding how we know what we know. And this is what I would call pragmatic or practical epistemology, of understanding how we know what we know. And this is something that I think that the education system has failed a lot of people, especially in the United States, and is helping people understand how we know these things, instead of just simply pushing this. Well, this is something that's just said by Neil deGrasse Tyson or Bill Nye, right? So we must believe it, because it's no, you actually have to go and do the work, and see for yourself. It's so much more meaningful when you do things. And by the way, that's a good trick against people who sea lion and ask the same question over and over again, because they want you to, these are the hardcore fluff, anti-science, type of people. They just simply want you to break down mentally, because they keep asking you the question, well, show me the curve, show me the curve.
Just to deny it every time.
Right. And that's why I was waiting for that guy to do it. That cartoon that you had earlier. Real. I mean, I was waiting for
Dion.
Dion.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see his smirk. I think that's why he was hiding his eyes,
Let's see. Brenda says, please tell Julius I know who Dedekind was. Many here probably do. He's with friends.
Dedekind.
Your name on.
No, Richard Julius Dedekind was a mathematician. If I'm getting that reference, that's the name I chose for, and it's been the name that I've used for ages.
Nick, your audio isn't connected yet, so we won't hear you. I don't know what you need to do, but
is he on his phone?
Yeah, it looks like he's on his phone because it's moving. Maybe it's a laptop.
Hello, Nick. Just go wave.
So, what's your background? That you have some sort of a STEM background?
Pure mathematics, and then a little bit of music. So I started out as a pianist, performer, Southern Methodist University, and then just kind of, that was back in the 90s, by the way, and then later dropped out and then got into mathematics. At first I was going to do a physics, going to go in for a physics degree, because that was something that I'd always wanted to do as a child.
Oh yeah.
And I just kind of accidentally fell into the piano, and that was where I had a lot of encouragement to go and pursue a music career, but I got burned out, and so I got into mathematics, and so spent another 4 or 5 years, and finally graduated in University of Texas. So, and then now I basically work in I work with microcontrollers. That's about all I'm going to say about that. Yeah. It's not really, I mean, it's not a big glamorous thing. I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm not a NASA shill. Although if I told them that, maybe they wouldn't try to go after me, because these guys are rabid. I mean, they really they get angry. I mean, they don't like, to them, it's a religion.
It is. Yeah. For many. And
it's as if you're taking away their binky, and you don't take away a grown man's, I'm sorry to put it this way, but you don't take away a grown man's binky.
That's absolutely it.
So, hello, Nick. I'm sorry. Shout out. I don't know if he can hear.
He's still, he probably can hear us, but he's still fighting with his audio.
I had to do some troubleshooting. I was earlier.
We've got and then 2 people just popped in from England. It's 4:30 in the morning there, 4:48 in the morning.
Explain.
So you're watching the live stream chat?
To me?
Yes.
No, I haven't pulled it up. I should I? I was going to let you.
It's distracting.
Yeah.
And so if you're not used to it, it's good and bad. But you're not a flat earther, so it's not it's not an adversarial audience. So,
well, I've dealt with some of. I mean, I've done a couple of lives already, and what what happens is they try to. I've had some of them try to goad me into. I don't know if you're familiar. Are you familiar with the term sea lioning?
Oh yes.
Okay,
But
good.
explain it for the audience.
So sea lioning is basically asking a question over and over again, pretending to be genuine about it, like you genuinely want somebody to answer that question, but you don't really. You're not going to listen to what the person says. What you're going to do is repeat the question, and keep digging and digging and digging until the person snaps. And that's the whole purpose of sea lioning.
Yeah.
And this is a debate tactic.
And they do it without knowing that they're doing it.
Yes, I think it's probably a first or second cousin of the Gish Gallop, but the Cap Without a Country has a really good TikTok. I don't know if he's another TikToker. He's not a flurf debunker, but he's more like in general. But he's a really fantastic TikToker, and I listen to him a lot. And he coined that term. He was talking about, and then there's Brandolini's law, the BS asymmetry principle. It takes more energy to create
debunk
BS
the garbage,
than it does to debunk it. And that's just the asymmetry. And that's why we get so frustrated with these flat earthers, because they can just spew it out ad nauseam.
They just say nuh-uh after you.
Right.
It happens all the time. And so I have a website, and so I make it so it's easier on myself, so I can always have something ready to go easily. So if people are like, well, show me the curve. Well, I've got a bunch of pictures of the curve on my website. So I post 3, 4, 5 of them, and they're like, that's not true.
Yeah. You can you can go to Flickr. The entire Apollo project archives is there. Every single
15,000 photographs.
Yeah, I mean, you can go from one magazine to the next. Apollo 8, Apollo 13, Apollo 15, Apollo 16, Apollo 17. And every single one of them has got a shot of the Earth in it. Yeah. Several. And the one that the blue marble's from is from Apollo 17 and on December 7th of 1972 and it's not got one but several pictures of the same Earth. And one of the things that I did on my videos was I pointed out, hey, look at that cyclone over there. And so I figured, well, if I could do that with that, if they did that with that photo, well, let's do it with the Himawari, and let's do it with the Earth polychromatic imaging camera. Yeah. And I started those, and now those were the videos where I do the iconic, I set my coffee mug and the Keurig, and I start off my video like that. And it's just like, okay, guys, let's start with the Australian cyclone season of 2020. And I just go from one cyclone to the next and show how they show up on the Earth polychromatic imaging camera. Yeah. And that seemed to be a very effective way to get through to them. You spend a good deal of time bringing that up, and they just say, oh, but they're just generating that from pictures on the ground. They say that I will give you one of their theories that they're asinine theories that they sent me. NOAA has a bunch of a data center that creates simulation data for weather patterns all the way to 2070 or some crazy year like that, right? And they just feed that data onto and map it onto a fake Earth model. Yeah, that's one of the answers that I've heard. And then others, they just dismiss it. They do whataboutism, which is just
that's it. It's
just deflect.
Yeah. All right. So Astro Geek says Dean Pitts is in the chat, needs help joining. Dean Pitts. So Dean, send me an email, mctoon@mctoon.net. It's in the description of this video and all my videos, and I will send you the Zoom link. I can't troubleshoot any more than that. Brenda again says for $5 please God, whatever you do, Julius, don't talk to Bev. Try thinking his math will break you.
What?
So Bev Try Thinking is a flat earther that's he's big on, he He mostly is on. He's got a YouTube channel. He's on Twitter. He just trolls on Twitter, and he's a lot on Discord.
Okay.
And he thinks that he is a surveyor because he took one class at university. He lives in England.
Okay.
Took one class at university on construction surveying. So for a construction site, so, you know, a couple 100 feet in any direction. And because for that area, they didn't teach him how to deal with curve, he thinks he knows all there is to know about surveying.
They're books from the 19th century that talk about hydrostatic geodetic leveling.
I've sent him the book, The Theory and Practice of Surveying from the late 1700s.
Yeah, did you go to? It's on Metabunk. There's a whole thread on it.
Oh yeah.
It's fantastic. I don't understand. Yeah, no, nobody's gonna. I'm a math major. Nobody's. Bring it. I'm a pure math major, and look. Let me just show you. That's my library.
Books. Yeah.
That's another part of my library. Those are all chess books. And that's another part of my library. If they got it, if they want to, bring it.
So
sorry.
He just denies everything is all he does. It's crazy.
Oh, well then, yeah. I mean, I could go to the flat earth theory generatorfun.com and generate this stuff. And
that's about it. Yeah.
I've got it open right now. It's hilarious. It's how I prepare myself for these things. As I go in and I read these, I read the flat earth theory generator, and then I was like, okay, now I'm ready. If I'm going to debate them, I suppose, which I don't. And here's another thing. I don't call it a debate. This is education.
Oh, it's never. I've had probably 200 so-called debates.
Yeah.
But never actually had a debate. So all right.
Yeah, well, I haven't gotten around to seeing some of your videos. I learned about you from Bedazzle, who did the Earth is Not Flat song.
Oh yeah.
Familiar.
He contacted me on Twitter. I keep meaning to play his video. Oh, we've got a new So you're I'm colorblind. So I'm not good on color, but people said that yours is yellow.
Yeah.
And
Alexa, set lights to warm white.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, there you go. But Dean is, I think, blue. Is that blue? He's not getting his audio going either.
Yeah.
Oh, he's out.
Is this a common thing with are they on the computer or?
It's more common for flat earthers to have technical difficulties than for non-flat earthers.
Oh, guys, you hear that? No, no, these are good.
Don't flirp it up, Dean.
No. Can you hear us? We love you, Dean. He's an astrophotographer. He does a little bit of astronomy, astrophotography stuff.
Awesome.
I look at it. I go to visit him in his lives. And he does a lot of they'll do like a live picture of the moon, or they'll do one of the sun, and it's fun. You know, it's like, hey, here's you think the moon is fake, or a hologram. Well, here's what it looks like up close. You know,
yeah,
it's fun to show it to the point it to them live.
So Mallory is a comedy flat earther. And she already is a fan, Julius, and has already made some fan art, if you have a sense of humor.
Okay. That's rather quick. Should I be worried?
She's a strange one. I don't think you should be. I don't think you need to be worried.
Okay.
I'll Oh, Dean, it looks like your audio might be ready to work here. If you unmute. All right, there we go. There is Mallory's.
Yeah, I figured it out. I think it's the same problem Nick was having. He needs the there's a little button to the left side. You gotta
Discord.
let yourself in.
I see some numbers here. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at your desktop. Okay, cool.
right.
Yeah. Where's Waldo? I get a lot of Harry Potter stuff. I don't know. It's funny.
You get Harry Potter.
Yeah, I get Harry Potter. A lot because of the glasses and.
Oh yeah, you've got the same glasses. That doesn't.
It's like I'm lacking a lot of other things like the hair, the scars, the good looks.
Yeah.
I mean, all that stuff. Hey, Dean, good to see you.
So
How's it going,
this
George?
is Dean Pitts is what's your channel on TikTok?
Dean Pitts 1. I do more than just. I do astrophotography, and I've been one of Julius's fans for a while. I actually was one of the people that talked him into doing live streams.
Oh,
Yeah, I was a little. I'm an introvert. If you could believe that.
I've known plenty of performers and stuff that are
there you go.
introverts.
You got it.
Oh, we got a different. This is not on
It's a
mobile.
different-
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
There we
can.
go.
Hey, Nick,
Okay.
good to see
So
you.
I'm going to put the bloody helmet on now.
Oh yeah, You gotta put
helmet.
The helmet. Yeah,
What-
he's got.
Oh yes, people.
Sorry about
Get-
that. We
get
can
on
debunk flat Earth, but we can't figure out audio issues. Sorry.
He was about to say. He was saying, "It was like, don't fluff it up."
I know.
He's going to use. Well, we planned this out. This was all orchestrated. You know, 'cause
Perfectly orchestrated.
how many times have I been told I was a NASA shill today? I was about to lose my mind.
Did you get your paycheck though? Did you get your paycheck? That's
No,
I got mine just to make sure.
Well,
You guys all get paid. Good.
whatever keeps them from bothering me, I'll go ahead
Yeah.
and tell them that
Now,
yes, I got
you
paid.
guys are new at this, so I gotta warn you. When you're talking to HR at NASA, always talk to Betty. She's the best. And if Karen answers the phone, hang up right away.
Yeah.
Hang on.
I'm writing this down, Betty.
Yeah.
All right, Betty.
All right.
Good.
Good to know, and glad. So in April, I hope you can make it to the annual breakdancing convention on the secret NASA moon base. Last year, Simon Dan upset Neil deGrasse Tyson. Where it's going to be a rematch, I think. So, do you know who Simon Dan is?
I know who Simon Dan is.
Okay.
Yes,
Dean?
absolutely.
I think I've heard of him, but I'm not completely familiar.
Julius?
Mm-mm.
So, Simon Dan is the biggest flat Earth debunker on YouTube. He has 440,000
Well,
subscribers.
then I'll have to go check them out. Yeah.
He
Uh,
just does
is he-
pre-recorded videos.
Is he
Pretty
the
much.
younger guy with the darker hair?
He's
British
a
guy.
he's a
British
runner.
guy.
British.
It's
Yeah.
possible I might have seen some of his content being posted. A lot of people post content or cross post.
Yeah, they'll
and
pick up his stuff.
it
Funny you
might
mentioned
be-
him.
Yeah.
He's the reason I kind of got into this was because he had featured one of those. It was a 10,000 pound flat Earth challenge from some other guy in the
I
UK.
did see him.
And that's the video that I responded to. It was a really shitty video. Sorry for my language. And it, lo and behold, I answered the challenge and with this AutoCAD video that I did to prove this guy wrong. But Simon and Dan had initially, responded to this guy, but he didn't get into depth. He just kind of brushed him off as this guy's silly. But anyway, I think it's 3.6 million views, something like that. Never saw the money. Go figure. And then somebody tracked down this guy's website or Facebook page, and he put some comments saying, "I'm not giving him the money because he is wrong and I am right." And that's all there was to it. So then I got into it a little bit more, got into TikTok, met Julius, met Dean, met Globey, and it's been a hell of a lot of fun, to be honest with you, and frustrating at the same time.
Oh, they are. So, the flat Earth challenges are very common. They're all fake. Every single one of them are fake. And I've been also the happy participant in a couple of these. I won $100,000 from a guy that Flat Out Hero, who said if you can do a flight chart where a plane flies, starts in one place, does a 90-degree return, another 90-degree return, and comes back to where it started from. So that's a triangle on the surface of a sphere that's an equilateral triangle. That's easy to do on a sphere. It's just 1/4 of the circumference for each leg. So I did it on an online flight planning software. And a couple other people did. A real pilot did it by programming it into his airplane.
Wolfie.
Wolfie 6020 did, yeah. And then he goes, "Oh, I meant paper charts."
No.
So I put these paper charts right here up on the wall. I did it on paper charts. I built a PVC dome, and I put the paper charts on the dome. And he still said I didn't win. But crazy enough, in December, he pretended to switch over to the globe, admitted that I win, admitted that I owe him, that he owes me $100,000 on my stream. So there we are. He admitted it. But yeah, there's 4 problems that all of these challenges need to have, and I think in order to be real, that you need to have criteria that it has clear and objective, measurable acceptance criteria, right?
Yeah.
So prove to me isn't objective and measurable,
Right.
right?
I don't. Yeah.
Do a flight path that comes back to where it started. That is measurable. Number 2, they can't change the rules, which saying I needed it on paper charts, that's a changing the rules. So you need to write it down and then have somebody be able to download it, so you can't change it. Say, oh, I have a copy from yesterday before you change it. Number 3, you need to be able to pay, and this flat out hero could not pay, you could tell. And better if the money's in escrow. And then 4th, you need to have an independent judging panel if requested. So I just this last Saturday put out a challenge that meets all those criteria.
Yeah, saw that.
First
10K,
yeah. Oh yeah, I put the first part on TikTok. I transferred 0.4 Bitcoin to escrow. So somebody else is holding it. And I wrote down the rules. They're clear. The sextant challenge, you just need to use sextant and only flat earth geometry and get within 25 miles of the actual position. And then there's an option for a judging panel. So all those criteria, and I posted everywhere, and the flat earthers get mad. They get so angry. Oh, they hate it.
I guess they do.
You know, Mike, I think Globey could tell, and I don't know if Nick was there or you, Julius, you might have been. I proposed a similar idea about the sextant and a nautical navigation and how we derive the nautical mile. I said, I have the money I put up for it. If you could prove pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
They have nothing. They all have.
I don't understand.
Denial.
I mean, they keep talking about the parabolic, second order approximation to the geometric drop. They talk about the 8 inches per mile square, which is pretty accurate up to about 500 miles out. And yet when you tell them, but in the same breath, they'll say, well, the horizon always rises to eye level. And that's just flat out false.
Yeah, it never does.
You can go up to 39,000 feet and there's a measurable 3.4 degree drop from the astronomical to the terrestrial horizon. That is easily measurable. You can get a cheap app on your phone to do that. And I just don't understand. And it's the same thing.
We have pilots to corroborate this. Nick
Right.
and I know a pilot who has given these arguments, and he wants to charter a flight across the Antarctic.
Right.
7-4 gear. Yeah, he's
pilot?
offering up a charter from his airline that he works for, if the flat earthers pay for it.
What's the guy's name?
7-4 gear.
7-4 gear.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he actually offered this pre-COVID, and then everything shut down, and then the flat earthers were accusing him of backing out, etc. But I reached out to him directly, and he's like, no. He's like, if they pay for it.
Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah.
Yeah. So his basically they fly from, I believe it's Buenos Aires down over part of Antarctica, and they land in Melbourne. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And he set all the parameters for what they need to observe. during the flight, what equipment they need to bring with them, etc. So
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
I talked to a guy who says he has a lot of money through cryptocurrency that tried to take him up on the challenge, and then they the story gets a little fuzzy because I think they were sea lining the pilot.
so there is a
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to call him prominent flat earther, but there is a flat earther. Can't remember his name, Rob something, but he also responded more recently to 7-4 Gear and said, "We'll take you up on the challenge." It might be that guy, because I know this guy's connected to Flat Earth Millionaire as well. Who, whether he's a millionaire or not, I don't know, but
He is.
okay.
All
I
right,
don't
so
follow.
Globy McGlobeface is trying to join. I think yes. All right,
You want me
so
to?
yeah, I sent him the Zoom link, Globy, in email, and I responded to it. So if you, I can't help debug your problem from here.
Do you need one of us to jump off? Have you got a limit or?
Nope, there's
No,
no, that's
No.
not the problem. I don't know.
I can check to see if he's messaged
yeah.
him on TikTok.
So, yeah, Flat Earth Millionaire is wealthy. It's family money, and it's apparently from people that, oh, here we got Globy. People, it's changing their electric thing. Anyway, it sounds like it's a little shady deal, but he does have money. So,
Lobby, you're muted, buddy.
is he flirting it up?
See, I've tamped his face.
oh, he has to do.
There
what
he is.
everybody- Yeah, yeah.
How dare you say I'm flirting it up?
He's-
Hey, I did it.
I'm glad to meet you too, Globy McGloveface.
You too.
So one thing is, I do not like communicating with people on TikTok. It is a challenge. The comments are they suck on there. They're
It's the
worse.
worst.
They're worse than YouTube, and YouTube is bad. So we use Discord to communicate with
Yes.
each other. So if you guys are on Discord,
Yep.
you can get on my Discord server, and I can help by promoting you guys a little bit on there too. Because I want, if people are watching TikTok, I'd like them to help you guys out too.
Appreciate it. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, TikTok is officially the worst place to talk in comments, which is why I started my channel. I couldn't yell enough with 124 characters.
Well, there's one thing that TikTok has that's really nice is the ability to quickly edit together and put together a video. That's the only reason I think that I use it. I hate editing videos. Like the standard, throw it into, go find a video editor and
Yeah.
then throw a bunch of clips and then have to, I hate all that. And that's the one thing about, TikTok. I don't know if Instagram has a similar type of,
Instagram doesn't have a very good video editing, I don't think. I think TikTok's video editing is actually really makes
It's
it
good.
easy.
It makes it really easy
Yeah.
to make and that's the only reason why I use it. My daughter would laugh at me, but I said I am too lazy to throw things into a video editor. I want to deal with the content, quickly put together something and go through. I still have some issues with their clip editing. Like for instance, if you change the length of the clips, you can't add more clips, but I'm sure they'll come up with something.
And, and there's an
I'm
endless
the same
amount of
way.
flat earthers on TikTok. It's an endless. I call it a cesspool of flat
Yeah.
earthers on TikTok.
It is bad. It is bad. And you know what it is? They're like a virus. You squash one and 10 pop up and they'll get
Yeah.
like 40,000 followers in like a week, right? Because it's an endless just cesspool of people looking. They've been ridiculed their whole lives. And now they're looking for some place to just have solace and to hug each other and
Yes.
hold hands and be like, I know this, you too, right? We're all friends. Meanwhile, Globers don't give a crap. We don't,
Yeah.
the general populace doesn't even know this is happening.
No.
Not at all.
But it's
But
still
we
dangerous.
do kind of give a crap. We do. I mean, the problem is that the proliferation of stupidity, I guess, is amplified 10x on TikTok. and we see this, and we're just hoping and praying that this isn't reflective of the real world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is why we do this. I mean, it's my motivation. It's fun, and I'm hoping, Globey and Julius, you guys put out fantastic stuff from an education standpoint. Dean, you put up amazing astrophotography stuff. So that's my whole motivation behind it.
Yeah, we definitely, my motivation stemmed from education at first, right? I wanted to debunk nonsense, educate people, show them the light, right? But once you realize that there's no turning a flat earther, which happens very, very fast.
It's very,
you learn that very fast.
they'll click.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So my videos recently
let me tell you,
have
there
turned
is
to,
turning. In the chat right now, we've got one who goes by Flurfspective, it's a mocking name. He's Ranty Flat Earth. Used to be Ranty Flat Earth. Now he's just Ranty. Used to be, and he's fantastic. He's really.
I've heard
really
about this guy. He did the flip.
He did, yeah. There's been a couple others. Jose J.G. Gonzalez also hosts a debate shows on YouTube every day almost. He flips.
We think we know one too, but it's one of those things where you're never sure. Sometimes
90-10?
Yeah, the 90-10. But I take people for what their word until they disprove themselves.
Yeah, because I've been in some of his lives after the whole 90-10, and he's still agreeing and spouting the same nonsense, and I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
Well, yeah, it's like he's trying to play both sides against the middle or something. I'm not sure what's going on there mentally. He's
Mike
check 1 2.
Mike check 1 2.
Really nice guy, actually.
Oh yeah, he's one of the guy.
Asked some very good questions, I think. But he's the kind of guy that needs to see not just a demonstration, but he wants to see actual visual proof. Like one of the videos I have, and Globey, you can talk about this too, is the whole viewing of the stars in the southern hemisphere circling around the south celestial pole, Sigma Octantis.
Does he deny that?
Pardon me?
Does he deny
that?
No,
he doesn't. He doesn't deny it. And in one of my models, I did a model in Blender where I show camera angles looking from due south from South Africa and from Australia, I think it was, can't remember. But anyway, you basically see the same thing, right? And he's fine with that, but he's like, I want 2 simultaneous videos, one from, Chile and the other one from South Africa, showing what your model's showing. He wants an actual visual, real world representation, which I think would.
And I don't think it's impossible to do. And I think he's being genuine when he's asking for it. I mean, that's my feeling. Now, of course, time will tell. I am, after all, a science person. I'm not going to just, I'm going to take somebody at their word, but if the evidence is thrown out there and later, we seem pushing the same agenda and whatever, then I'm going to say, okay, yeah, this isn't.
It's very easy to do, right? I mean, you don't even need to film it at the same time, which would be great, and it's very possible, right? Show on the counter to that, show one video of Sigma Octantis moving east to west or west to east or whatever.
Yeah, it would have to move. It would have to move horizontally.
It would have to.
Yeah,
they can't. The problem is they don't even have the. I mean, this is like elementary school geometry to figure that out.
No,
they don't
have the comprehend. No, see, some people think they're trolling, but I really think they don't have the comprehension skills, the spatial recognition to even understand the problem. Some of them do. Some of them understand the problem.
I had one have a hard time understanding that when you looked at a wheel from a different direction, that it was rotating the other direction. Like, for instance, looking at a car window, I said, go to the passenger side and tell me which way, clockwise or counterclockwise. Now go to the driver's side, clockwise or counterclockwise. And he couldn't do it.
That was one of my first videos.
They won't do it.
They
won't do anything.
Mike, you did a video and you were trying desperately to explain to this guy, I don't know his name.
Tony Naum from Australia.
Yes. and he was spinning in his chair, and he just wouldn't shut up long enough to listen to what you were saying and listen to what he said himself. He just wouldn't stop talking long enough to figure it out. Sorry if you're friends with him, but
I think after that video, I probably had 10 people send me, and I love it, but I mean, it's not useful for me anymore, but because Tony blocked me, but 10 people sent me videos of them doing what Tony refused to do, taking a camera, spinning in a circle, and then pointing it up and down.
it was the most frustrating video to watch. I'm watching it. I'm pulling my hair out. Just shut up and listen to what he.
And somebody mentioned already that they love your hair in the chat. I'm just on a side note here.
My hair?
Somebody loves your hair, yeah.
That's great. I haven't combed it today, so maybe it's a new thing for me.
They also said the same about your hair, Globy.
Wait,
it's not going to be me.
They can't be possibly. They make fun of my hairline, and I think, jeez.
Somebody might have just been making fun of your hairline just now. Hey, I'll say Dean Geist View. Dean says that he'd like you to reach out to him because he does astrophotography too, and he's fantastic. Has some good stuff. So Dean, let's see. Are you? I'll send it the chat right here. Let's see.
I'm on the live and on YouTube.
Okay,
too,
so do you see his comment there? You'll have to scroll up a little bit there. I'll let's see. I'll grab it. He's on Twitter. It's Geistview with but I'll put it in the chat here because you're on your computer, so I just want to make sure you get
I think I see. Yep.
All right. Oh yeah, that's a picture of so many cool things. Earth is Life says one of these guys used my video on TikTok regarding QFA 14.
That could have been me. I don't know. I've done a couple videos on that.
Anyway, Earth is Life he does a lot of the debates on Jose's channel. Jose, the ex-flat earther who has a daily debate show on YouTube.
I followed him.
Let's get his NASA show shirt on. Nice. Where'd you get that from the gift store?
Well, let's see that, Julius. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. They get so triggered. Triggered.
That's why I wear it. It's
wow.
also to keep them away when I'm at the bar or then I'm out. I don't want them talking to me.
Have you had
people? They don't like this either. They hate it. They cannot stand this.
Yeah.
They keep accusing me of being a child, wearing a Halloween mask, and how can we take you seriously?
I'll just put it to you this way. If a flat earther comes and sits down next to me and starts talking, I'm leaving. I'm getting up from the table. I'm not.
That's. I was like Julius. I was like you in the beginning. I didn't truly believe that people believed in this stuff because I was getting some weird ass comments on my astrophotography, and I'm like, no, there's no way. You got to be trolling me. But then I start finding these people that genuinely believe.
So what's the most ridiculous thing that people have said about your photography?
The moon is plasma.
Yeah,
but while looking at a picture of the moon that you took, right?
Yeah, they
with
would
lots of detail of craters.
Yeah, that you could see stars through it when they're misinterpreting dead pixels or hot pixels as stars.
Yeah, or that you can see through the moon, right? Because when the moon is shaded, you see the atmosphere color.
You've seen the atmosphere before you see the moon, and so they think that color.
Yeah.
The other thing is, the other thing is the clouds around. So this may not have anything to do with the moon, but it's a similar kind of thing that they do. Is that they'll say the sun's in the clouds because the cloud line that's in front washes out the CCD or the CMOS sensor.
Yeah.
And so basically, and they proved it. There was a guy who proved it. He said, now here's the sun in front of these power lines if what you're saying is true. And that's clearly false. So that's one of the other kinds of things that they do. They
I've done
hide
lives
everything.
with Ben Marshall, and he's in Essex, England, and I'm here in Pennsylvania, and looking at the same moon. He's looking west, I'm looking east. Why are we still able to see the same face? Like, this would not work on any flat earth model. We've proved it without a shadow of doubt, live.
They
And
don't care.
They still didn't comprehend how that works.
It's conclusion-driven science, right? They start with the conclusion,
Right.
and then they look for things that support it, and even though they don't, and they ignore everything that doesn't, and then at the end they conclude that their pre-selected conclusion was undeniably proven.
It's science made stupid. Alter the data to fit the hypothesis.
They don't even alter the data. They
No, I know.
misinterpret the data.
Well, that's when they can't misinterpret it enough. Then they have to alter it.
Yeah.
It's
Or
not
the other way around.
CGI is the biggest excuse.
It's
Huh?
lying.
It's what?
It's lying. There's lying.
Absolutely.
It's not misinterpreting.
100% Globey.
My new favorite thing, and I said this to you, Julius, about 10 minutes ago in the private messages, is their new thing I hear every day over and over again is even NASA admits all pictures of Earth are fake.
Yeah, all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, I want to punch a hole through my wall every time I hear one of them say that.
They're just repeating what their Papa Flurf said.
Yeah, but Robert Simmons has an article, NASA puts out an article about low Earth orbit composite images and how they stitch them together, and that gets interpreted into every single picture is fake.
Is fake, right?
Yeah.
But we have raw film images.
Right.
Yeah, I've been showing Earth raw film images.
I'm going to show you from Rancy a picture that he took when he was a flat earther, that he's just now dug out of his archive. So it's from a video. It's not an actual picture. You can see on the left this lighthouse, and then on the right, the same lighthouse. And when he was a flat earther, he said that's compression.
Yep. That's what they say. How is that compression in any means whatsoever?
And he kicks himself now. He's like, how did I used to think that? And
I think that's a really, really good question.
I don't know I don't know if it was you, Julius, or Globey, no, it was you, Globey, I think, or the guy was arguing with you. Oh, you just zoom back in. Just zoom back in. And you're like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Look through the ocean?
Yeah.
Yeah. The camera's going to...
I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking.
That don't exist. Yeah. That's
nice
back and forth there.
You know how many times we've done this? We've shown these people this?
Yes.
How many times?
And
everybody.
Look at the... for all the optical effects that they claim, the edge of the horizon, if those optical effects were even close to true, the horizon would be some sort of a smear. It would be either a straight line, it would be just a haze. But this one, you can see the waves on it.
Yeah, flat earthers like to live in the margins too. So I'm still reeling on the psychological component here. I told you before everybody joined, earlier that I have really been kind of cued in on I've been tuning in on the psychological component because I think that's key, is to understand, because this is not an evidence problem. This is not an information problem. This is a trust psychological problem. And it's just,
and then people preying on that aspect.
Yeah.
Another big part of it too was mentioned before. I think it's important to note is that these guys are also, like you said, they're marginalized, a lot of them. And then when they find these groups with common ground with one another, the flat Earth, it gives them strength. Like, it's strength in numbers. They feel like they're part of the tribe, and you
Right.
have to defend the tribe at all costs, right? So I think that's another part of the psychological component of the whole thing as well.
Which makes me,
Another
which
one
makes
is
me,
where they don't really care for authority. They're staunchly against
That
authority.
select authority.
Yeah.
They're happy for some authority.
yes,
Right.
their
Well,
authority,
if the
whatever their
authority
authority is.
Supports their conclusion.
Yeah, well,
Right.
and they like the authorized version of the Bible, the King James version,
Ugh.
that came from the government of England. They're happy with
Yes.
that authority because it supports their conclusion.
And don't mention the better translations that don't use the word firmament, that use the word sky or heavens. God forbid.
Or expanse.
Expanse.
Or expanse. Yes, the
I
expanse
mean,
above, right?
You're
Or
dealing
the
with
Von
four-
Braun
the four
had
corners
Psalms.
of the earth. Like-
you're dealing with an ancient Canaanite mythology. It's not surprising that they're gonna. I mean, this was also Egyptian, Sumerian. I mean, they all of that kind of got jumbled together. Now, I'm not an expert on this, not by any stretch, but it just seems to me that, you know, we've learned some things since then, and people can take the view if they want to take a theistic view, you know, an enlightened theistic view, and they say, well, you know what, God just spoke to them in whatever language they could understand, and in that way, that gives them an out, you know, so they don't feel like that they're cornered, like it's the Bible versus science. They can have both. Now, my personal belief, which I don't talk about a whole lot, is just kind of toss that away. You know, let's stick with science. Whatever. But I understand if people, it's like, I may not, I'm Chris Rock, I may not agree, but I understand. You know, I understand why they feel the way they do in that respect.
So a question
Someone-
here, if we can add this to it. Can you discuss why flirfs are not harmless?
Wait,
Not harmless?
Not harmless.
I can
Why
go
they-
into a huge amount of
Let's go
detail,
there.
but I'm going to let others go first.
I'm not sure of the question. Why they're not harmless?
Yes.
Wait. Yeah, why they're dangerous.
Yes.
That's
Why?
right.
Yeah. Flirfs are dangerous. Why?
Oh, because, well, I mean, simply put, it's anti-science.
That's right.
And anti-science is dangerous. I say this all the time. People yell at me. They'll just come on my page and be like, "You're an ass. You're an ass. Why are you hating on people with differing opinions?" And I clearly state all the time, I don't care about your opinion. You can have whatever opinion you want. When you start spouting anti-science and claiming that as fact and pushing misinformation, that triggers something in my brain where I can't resist it. I have to counter it because it's dangerous. It is just dangerous. It leads to the regression of our society, first of all. And I don't want children or younger people on TikTok seeing these videos and not seeing the other side of it, because that's dangerous. That's dangerous. Susceptible minds will falter to some of this stuff because it is easy to think of, right? Like, oh my God, we are spiraling and zigzagging through the universe and chasing the sun and going around the galaxy. How did the stars not change? That makes sense, right? But it doesn't make
To a
sense when
person
you
who doesn't
actually-
have the background and understanding and scale of what's going on.
Right. And I realized that the other day. I was talking to my family about this because they laugh at me that I do this. And, you know, I was like, they say such stupid crap, these flat earthers. Like, why doesn't a rocket work in a vacuum? They think a rocket doesn't work in a vacuum.
Yeah, because it's
posted
got
a
to
video-
push against
I posted-
something.
Right.
I
Because
posted videos on how that's wrong.
right. Of course it's wrong. But when I said the words,
easy,
I
it's
saw
easy
the,
to do it in your mind. Sit on a chair with wheels, throw a bowling ball. Is the bowling ball pushing on the air? No.
I had this
No.
argument with this guy that goes by Trey. And
Trey.
he
Wait,
would not do the experiment
Two-
for the life.
$2 tray?
Yes.
I was on last night with him on
I-
FTFE.
I've been trying to get him
Oh,
to do it. I said, get on your skateboard and take a bowling ball and throw it away from. He would just not do it. He kept denying. He would defer. He just would not. He would not do the. I'm like, okay, you know what? It's just pointless trying to get you to do anything.
Here's how dumb he is. He was on with me on a debate, and he was trying to prove, science doesn't prove, but he's trying to prove to me that Antarctica was made of salt. And he was reading a peer-reviewed paper about halite, and halite this and whatever, which, you know,
like a mineral.
yeah, but it's primarily salt. And he's reading it, and he goes, sodium was the major cation. And chlorine is the major anion.
What?
What? What? Why?
I said, hold on, Trey, reread that. Sodium's the major cation. Trey, what does cation mean? It's the thing you're measuring. It's the main thing that they're measuring.
Ugh.
I let him dig that hole for a while. It's a Trey.
I thought he got banned anyway.
It's not cation. He did. He has a new account. It's not cation. It's cation. It's a positively charged ion. No, it's not.
Cation.
Claims that he is a mechanical engineer.
No, he's not.
Because at his job at a machining place, they gave him the title of engineer. I'm like, no, a mechanical engineer went to university, took at least a year of chemistry, took the math classes the entire time, tons of physics. You don't know any of this stuff. I say, Trey, what's the derivative of x squared? He didn't know. A mechanical engineer that doesn't know the derivative of x squared, you're not a mechanical engineer.
Yeah.
That's Trey. That's $2 Trey for you.
Got a light of flurf.
Yeah, and so I gave a lot of thought to this question as to why they're dangerous, and I really started constructing this in my head what I was going to say if somebody asked me this, and I don't know why, but basically it boils down to this: if you were to tell me that the entire world's a simulation and that we're all in a matrix, it literally has no bearing on reality at that point, because it's outside our bounds of whether we can prove or disprove it. We don't know.
Irresolvable.
It's irresolvable. It doesn't affect reality in a sense of practical. We use satellites, we use GPS, we navigate around the world. It doesn't impact those things. Believing that everything in, the universe, creator, God, whatever you want to whatever thing you want to believe in, push it to the limit and go ahead and say, yes, this is it. Make it as unscientific as possible. Here's why it's dangerous, is because it actually falls within the most, we cannot survive without a proper understanding of how the world works, that we're navigating on, that we're using GPS satellites. People that work in this field, people that, it cuts into so many things. And that's why I feel that it's dangerous. It's very similar. Some people may agree to disagree or whatever. Similar situation with COVID-19.
That's what I was going to say. Some of these ideologies will start slipping into real world problems, like with health.
Yeah.
If they're not easily gullible and susceptible to flat Earth nonsense, they're going to fall into the same trap with COVID misinformation or some other type of real world harmful information.
What was that book you were holding up, Mike?
It was my kid. So my kid, she couldn't find her teacher's guide for her math book today.
Oh, okay.
And it's 11:30 at night. It's past her bedtime, and she comes in here, hands me the teacher's guide book that she just found. But I don't know if it's actually the right book.
Okay.
We'll
I
find
thought
out
it was a reference to something.
No.
Yeah.
If you want to see a book, I got this one right here. This one came out today. Kelly Weil, Off the Edge.
2022.
Yep.
It's surprised. I think that was well timed. That came out today.
Yeah, it's probably not an accident.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, I think my stream is maybe hiccuping.
Yeah, we're frozen up here.
Yep. All right. Oh, we're back. All right. I hope we're back. Anyway, here's the book. It came today. I love it. It's got the the ship falling off the edge of the flat Earth. They hate it. They hate that so much.
Well, because and they make it a self-seal. They do the self-sealing thing where, it's we got rid of the edge by pushing it off to a place that nobody can go to, Antarctica.
Yeah.
Right.
And we have like robot attack penguins down there that will stop you that are controlled by the UN and all that kind of stuff. And
that's another one. If you start looking into the logistics of it and the amount of money and people that would have, like, no government has ever been able to hold a secret. And you're telling me we're keeping the shape of the Earth? Come on.
They're protecting like 60,000 miles worth of ice shelf securely from anybody passing by. Yet they claim to have videos of it too.
Well,
when they just
their video.
Right.
They have one video of a guy that was wanted by the police, getting stopped by I don't know who, wearing a T-shirt on a boat. Now, how close do you need to get to Antarctica where you're not going to be wearing a T-shirt anymore? He was just south of Australia. He was nowhere near Antarctica. That's their best evidence, is a guy who was nowhere near Antarctica, who was wanted by the police, getting arrested.
Is that the story of that guy? Because they quote that guy all the time. I never looked into it.
You just send the video, and then they'll
I've seen the video.
If they send it, you say, why is he wearing a T-shirt if he's near Antarctica?
Yeah, incidentally, the South Magnetic Pole is just off the coast of Antarctica in the direction toward Australia.
Yeah, south of us.
Yeah,
Their flat Earth map doesn't work with that very well either.
No, it doesn't. They get. I've had flat earthers block me for asking them that question once.
Yeah, because they've been told by their Papa Flurfs that the North Magnetic Pole is directly in the middle, and that the South Magnetic Pole is all directions away from the center. They never even once bothered to check. That
and it moves. Yeah,
is indoctrination.
Yeah.
Check. That's funny. They don't check anything.
Yes. The do your own research thing is when they are told to do their own research, it prevents them from doing their own research. They think that watching another YouTube video from or a TikTok video from a flurf is doing their own research.
They'll do a laser, which is subject to the same rules of refraction over a cold lake early in the morning.
I was in your live when we were talking about that. I'm like, do you understand? A laser is still going to, it's still going to have the same, like, even in a gravitational well, it's going to curve.
Yeah.
They don't like facts. I was arguing with Globebusters, who I don't think has any affiliation to actual Globebusters, right? But he just some dude on TikTok who was
picking out.
Yeah. Well, he sends me a windmill video, right, where the windmill is mostly hidden by the water. It's on YouTube somewhere. And he claimed it would be hidden by 700 feet of drop, right? Once again,
do the math,
they can never do the math. They leave out viewer's height every time, right?
Yeah.
And they don't add any refraction ever, right? So I point that out. He changes the subject to Chicago from Lake Michigan, right? I point out that his math is wrong yet again because he left out viewer's height because the dude that took the picture of Chicago was on a dune, 160 feet tall.
Yeah, Joshua.
Nowicki.
Yeah,
160 feet up.
Yeah,
he just left that out completely.
Yeah,
right?
and then they you got to be careful with them because they'll take they're watching you like a hawk to see if they can find anything inaccurate in what you're doing and what you're putting together, which is what it's so infuriating, is that they'll actually go in. It's like, oh, so now you're suddenly paying attention. It was like the laser experiment I did, which I purposefully made it a troll experiment. I said, here, you said magnetism bends light. No, it doesn't. Here's a freaking laser. I put some talcum powder into the air but they don't look at the lake level. They didn't look at the dune level. They didn't look at the,
when they say magnetism bends light, like you can buy a for not very much money, a 1 Tesla magnet, and it doesn't bend light at all.
No,
and yet somehow a magnetic field that's so you can't even measure it bends light to whatever they want it to do.
Yeah, I had one guy actually say, "Oh, yeah, I bought those, by the way, today because I'm going to do the experiment again." I don't even know why I put myself through this. I bought that exact thing, and
We all do.
and I know it's.
I bought that little personal dome magnifying dome thing.
Oh, those are
Yeah,
so
just to do a for the guy
Just
with the personal dome.
Yeah. Just to
Yeah.
prove why that can't be possible on any observable thing that we observe. It doesn't work at all.
Yeah, the
Yeah, this is 2 1-inch by 2-inch neodymium
well,
magnet.
Oh,
just
yeah.
remember, Dean, when you get that laser and you set up the experiment, make sure there's no refraction involved because suddenly it'll be important. And
Yes.
then also make sure that you have an electromagnet because they claim that the electromagnet bends
It's
it, but
different,
the regular
yeah.
magnet doesn't. And
So get this. So I don't know if you've seen the Black Swan. It's a favorite of the Flurfs on YouTube.
Yep.
It's a heavily refracted photograph. They're like, well, the horizon's too far away. Like, but the refraction, you got to take into account refraction. No, we don't. Well, Austin Whitsitt is was debating Flurfspective, the ex-flat earther, and Flurfspective Ranty was showing a picture of something that was completely impossible on flat Earth, the heights of a tower and the height of a mountain behind it, and Austin had this to say about that particular picture.
Refraction, which we immediately and adamantly claim is always present because there's temperature fluctuation and atmospheric conditions that are consistently affecting what you perceive.
Which I totally agree with. And but he says that, but refuses to do it on the Black Swan. So when I debated him, I have eight of these.
Refraction always happens. That's why it's important.
So every time he brought up the Black Swan, I played one.
Well, if
Oh
you
my
can't
God.
adequately account for refraction, you can't make a claim about the apparent location. Now, can you, Ranty?
oh,
He was so
wow.
mad. It just kept playing. He's like, Black Swan. Oh, really?
I'm claiming that you haven't even actually accounted for all the variables, and you're touting your trigonometry that literally hand waves dismiss one of the most important variables when it comes to perception, which is refraction.
He screwed
Now it's
himself.
the most important? That's great.
Yeah, it was Black.
Could I make that my ringtone?
Oh,
It's on.
I
It's,
was
Joking.
Get out
That
of
would be
it'd drive you
an
crazy.
awful- yeah.
Yeah, it was Blackpool Tower was the picture.
Yeah, these guys leave out refraction and then claim it's some magic cure-all that we use, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And then they use
so
it.
this
And then
is
they
an
use it to-
axiom. Anything is not important until it's important, and then suddenly, if it supports, again, it's altering the data and all of the results in order to fit their hypothesis or
Right,
their
refraction
beliefs
doesn't exist until
it
they're
needs
saying
to.
that's why the sun sets, right? Because of
Right.
refraction.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sun, the one of them actually, because some of them have actually taken to buying telescopes.
Really? They
Yes,
usually
that's
just
great.
say that the P900 or P1000 is the best telescope ever made.
Yeah. I'll let somebody.
And then my
It's not very good.
my 6-inch Newtonian must be shit.
Yeah, because it's not a P1000 that suffers from strong chromatic aberration at high zoom. Never
Yeah, well,
mind that.
So my 4-inch Cassegrain that is literally was invented by the military.
Yeah, when I get I've got one that's coming in. I bought the Celestron Evolution, and it's supposed to come in April. And one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a solar filter on the damn thing, and I'm going to do a high noon, and then I'm going to do right before, not as the sun's setting, but like late afternoon. And this is why it's one of the questions that we always ask is how far is the freaking sun in your model? They never answer that question.
Well, none of them can do the basic trigonometry to understand that you
Right.
could, on flat Earth, quickly and easily figure it out. They can't even get that basic trigonometry.
Well, and the problem is that if you actually were, and I did this in several videos, and I'll just hold it up. Just the math involved is just going to different latitudes and measuring the alt azimuth of the sun. And I pick on a one day, and then I draw all those lines on a flat plane with the same distances. And they crisscross all over the place.
Yeah.
In other words, with any given two lines, you have a different location of the sun, and it could be 4,000 miles away, it could be 500 miles away. But when you wrap that into a
It all
sphere,
matches.
all of those lines point out and converge. And that I did that a couple of videos on that. I know it was Pearl's cast before, you know what, but it did.
Calling them swine is a little too complimentary.
Well, Dan Bird, he already did in the apparent size of the sun. He had a solar filter. He watched the sun from
Right.
the moment it rose till it set. That there was no apparent size change. And another one I was thinking, why is it the same size no matter what your latitude is? Like where you're at on Earth, it stays the same size. If it was local, wouldn't it mean the further you go north or south from the
That depends on the season because
smaller?
because
what's their answer for that? Do you know? Have you heard it?
No.
I'm gonna make one up.
Water
right now
droplets
on the spot.
in the air cause the atmosphere to act like a lens, like a three-dimensional lens.
Oh, for
a circular
sake.
lens.
So what about an arid, dry desert with like the humidity of 0?
They don't have an answer for that.
Well,
welcome. We've got let's introduce yourself here.
Well, I'm Ben.
There's Ben.
On TikTok.
What's up, Ben?
What are you on TikTok again?
Moonsplain. Well, moon_splain.
Moonsplain. Good to see you.
And it's currently like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, I see a telescope behind you. You must do some. Have you heard that when you take pictures or through a telescope of nebula and stuff, have you heard their answers for that? The craziest one?
Well, not for nebula, but yeah, definitely.
What's the craziest? They say all
me.
telescopes have NASA technology in it, and it's programmed to take that picture.
I've heard this.
I've heard that.
Seriously.
I've heard that.
I've heard this.
Yeah.
I've had people claim it for my stuff. They were like, do you understand? I'm like, well, it's not the telescope taking the photo. It's my phone that's attached to it, like in my live streams. And I'm like, my phone, like, we're in between. And when you can literally upload raw sensor data, especially from like
that's beyond
DSLR.
All they know is a P1000, which doesn't even take raw pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they want to say anytime you start stacking a photo, that's it. It's over. It's CGI. As soon as you start stacking, it's CGI. No matter what it is.
You get a spectral radiometer that does RGB. They call that a composite.
They can't understand that. All right, give me a second here. So, Earth is Life sent a picture. I'm going to share it to you so you can see it. He lives in Hawaii. I'm pretty sure. And there you go. So this is some buildings in Hawaii. I don't recognize any of these. What is this? Earth is Life. Help me out. But yeah, you can see the water in the way. What is that, flat earthers? PJCnet in the chat. What is that? You can, in this one too, you can see the waves on the edge there. So it's not like there's this line of compression, or they call it the vanishing line. There's no such thing as a vanishing line in physics, but they say you just don't understand angular resolution. I'm like, oh well, can you give me the formula for that? No. Well then, who is it that doesn't understand angular resolution?
It's it's a wave equation solution. It's a Rayleigh's criterion.
Rayleigh's criterion, yeah.
That allows you to compute angular resolution. They don't even. I'm surprised that they even bother, because
They think when it's unresolvable through the Rayleigh criterion, that it means you cannot see it. They don't understand that it means you cannot perceive detail. They think it actually disappears.
Yes.
Yeah.
That helps a lot, Mike. That gives me an insight into their psychology. Okay, I'm beginning. What about
they
you,
also
Globey?
lie. They also lie and say that.
Yeah,
or maybe
that's
they're not lying, but they say that disappearing is what we're saying is happening over the horizon, which is two separate things. They think when an object is unresolvable, it's because we're saying it's over the horizon, and then they zoom in and go, "Look, we see it. Look, it's right there." Well, you're just zooming in on the object. It's not over the horizon yet, right? I mean,
all right. Let me give you this little taste of derpery here. PJCnet, a nice guy, flat earther, is in the chat. He says that is true perspective.
what does that mean?
Ronnie and Jason explained it around 2017. There you go. That's all you need to know. And now,
how can you use perspective in that instance?
No, I'm sorry. It's true perspective. You don't know true perspective.
Oh, okay.
They know true perspective.
So sun rays are not perspective.
No.
You know, it convert. So that's not perspective, but this is.
Yes. And what's the formula for that? These are not the droids you're looking for.
Trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro.
Yeah. This is one of the hallmarks of pseudoscience is lack of operational definitions.
Yes.
Okay. And so right away, when you give something vague like that, you don't explain what you mean, then you've already pushed yourself in pseudoscience. So people ask me, well, you're just giving it a label. You're not really saying, you're just calling it pseudoscience because you disagree. No, I have an operational definition. You don't.
Yeah.
This is part of their game. This is what they're doing. So this whole conversation about zooming in and the angular resolution and all that, right? Sometimes I think they're smarter than we give them credit for because they've set this up so that they will just say, no matter what you show them with zooming and horizons and all that, that you just need to zoom a little bit more and that boat will come back.
They're not.
You just haven't zoomed enough.
It's
you can,
not
you
that
can
they're
point
smart.
the Hubble. You can point the Hubble at the horizon. They'd be like, well, you just need to zoom a little bit more.
You just need to go a little further. Yeah.
Right. They've set up that fallacy.
They did not set that up. They are just repeating it from somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that person set it up.
And the somebody else probably just got tried 20 different things to explain it, and that's the one that stuck. They don't understand what's going on either. There's probably no one person that anybody could find that go back to explain that. That is the person that is the provenance for that idea.
I feel probably not. I feel like maybe that idea came from Dubé, but I might be wrong.
Well, Dubé took his stuff from Robotham.
Robotham. Yeah. Samuel Robotham was a faith healer.
Yeah, I guess he was the first.
A snake oil salesman.
He was he had a whole, his whole spiel was patriarchal longevity.
The first chapter of this book is details about Robotham. I did not know, and I've read his book and several other things on him.
Oh, yeah.
So I highly recommend this book about Robotham.
Yeah, I read enough. Let's just say I'm not an expert in Robotham. I read enough of Robotham to make me sick.
Oh yeah, he's a rotten guy.
I mean, it was just an absolute. And then some of his cohorts. I'm sure you've seen the popular science magazine $5,000 reward back in the 1930s.
Yeah.
You've seen that article. It's thrown around.
Yeah, Vilova in Illinois.
Yeah, Zion, Illinois, where they still were teaching flat Earth. It's that he was also a faith healer. Yeah. And my great grandmother died young, and left my grandmother and her two sisters basically to fend for themselves because of this. It's one of the reasons why it hits close for me, because I was raised. I just that story was told to me. And so, yeah.
So those who know Robotham, was he Was the impression, is your impression of him that he was being genuine? Like,
No.
was he, okay.
I think
I don't know anything
because
about him.
so many things about his life are just scams.
Okay.
That I don't think that he's genuine. But with a pathological liar, they tend to believe it. So it gets fuzzy for them. It's a mental disability that they have to lie, and then they get so consistent that they put it into their belief system anyway. So
Right, because that, you know,
maybe
that's what gets me is the lies, man. The blatant
It's
lies
so
drive
many
me
You've seen it.
crazy.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Weiss with his rockets or holograms, right? He found, I'm sure you all know this, but he's found projectors on NASA's lawns, and he's tracked the serial numbers back to the manufacturers of holograms.
He probably did not find it. He probably saw something from somebody else that probably wasn't from the actual location. Right? That's how they do these things.
I think you're giving him too much credit. I think he made up the whole damn story.
I mean,
Give him too much credit.
well, okay, Globey, if he's making it up, I mean, we've heard the joke, you can't make this shit up, right? You know, that maybe that's giving him too much credit, you know.
It might be, but his example was pointing out a Russian rocket. It wasn't even a NASA rocket.
Yeah,
They don't cross-check anything.
Well,
that was one of the arguments I never got. That never made sense to me. NASA's the only one lying, but there's 70 other space agencies.
No. They actually truly think that there is just one space agency. It is NASA. Everything else, they just do what NASA tells them.
Yes, NASA's the Nazis. They're the Nazi
hundreds of
Freemasons.
thousands of people. Like, are they in on it? No. It's compartmentalization. Hold on a second. So I
thought Russia was the first on a lot of things before. They were the ones who won the space race, technically.
But it's all they, the nameless, faceless they, that is telling both Russia and America what to do.
So during the Cold War, Russia and America were working together hand in hand for this one thing.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and they act like NASA's the source material for all astrometric and you show them something like this, right? You know, navigation and nautical astronomy, 1926, edition, reprint 46. This was one of the first things I drug out when they said, well, they didn't teach globe until the 50s. And I was like, that's crap. And then I show them an astronomy textbook that talked about the distance of the sun.
I have a photo.
The size of the sun.
From 1889.
Mm-hmm.
It's of them teaching on globes. Like, it's in a classroom.
Yeah.
Them teaching on globes. I was like, so what is this?
It's all made up. History is all made up by the Illuminati.
So here's a book, Inventing the Flat Earth, by Jeffrey Burton Russell. I actually reached out to him to see if he'd come on. He's in his late 80s. He said, thanks, but I'm going to pass. Really good book. The one chapter on the history, going back and finding historical documents written by whoever over time, talking about when people thought the Earth was a globe. And it goes back to BC, actually. So he and it's all documented, and his
Eratosthenes was the we have Aristarchus.
But Columbus, it's a lot about Columbus, right? And of course, Columbus did not think the Earth was flat. Columbus used the Imago Mundi as his map, which is a Mercator style projection.
Yeah.
Of the globe. So
well, I think I see on my big I've been studying astronomy. Astrometry is my interest.
What's astrometry?
That's measuring distances to stars. But it's basically if you want a good overview of astrometry, the history of, go read Standing on the Shoulders of Giants by Stephen Hawking, which is basically just an anthology that starts goes through Copernicus, Kepler, Newton, and has some really good material on measuring distances, talking about the history. And one of the things that these people don't understand is that with the Aristarchus, the Greek actually had an understanding of at least a lower bound for the distance of the sun based off of observations of watching the moon pass through the Earth's shadow during a total lunar eclipse. They could get a ratio and then use that, to based off of their understanding of the circumference of the Earth in order to calculate the actual size of the moon. Then they could use trigonometry to find the actual size and then therefore the distance. And they bootstrapped their way from that to understanding how far away the sun was. And
that's another thing that doesn't make sense to me. These mathematics were literally formulated for these things, for these type of measurements, to understand distances, the sizes of things. Was literally invented because we went and questioned, what is the size? What is the distance? So we had to use a model. We had to build a model to understand.
This was what I was telling you earlier. It's important that we teach how we know these things, or how we know we have an understanding, at least a lower bound estimate. For instance, you only need Aristarchus and Eratosthenes to tell you that the Earth is round, the sun's not local, neither, and the sun and the moon are not local. They're,
the sun's setting tells you it's not local.
Well, that too, but it's distance.
What about Ptolemy?
Well, yeah, that's
or as one flat earther pronounced it, Ptolemy.
Ptolemy.
He can't pronounce the P.
Well, Ptolemy was, they juxtapose. They talk about flat Earth and heliocentrism as if they're like, well, if you believe one, you can't believe. No, they believed in a geocentric round Earth. You can read this. The Greeks in Plato's Timaeus dialogue. You can read about what they thought the ideal shape of the universe or the world. The world soul. That's in one of the Plato's dialogue. That's something that they knew about. So they act like, oh no, heliocentrism is like some kind of, well, that's the model that everybody else believes in, and the flat Earth is the real model. But you can show them, no, they believe the Earth was round. That doesn't, in other words, that's not an argument. If you're going to go and use geocentrism, you're still lost. I mean, in other words, they've set up a false dichotomy. Does anybody get this between heliocentrism and a flat Earth?
It's all the time. It's they think that all they need to do is to, they think, debunk the flat Earth or debunk the globe, then it automatically means the Earth is flat.
Right. That there can't be some nuance to it. But I think the actual, or the real, like if you go back to the where all of this crap's coming from, because I don't think it's just coming out of nowhere. Because I think it's about trying to get people who they don't believe in space. They don't want to believe in space. Everything is this nice terrarium where, this little miniature terrarium that apparently God can't create the vast universe that we live in. And so therefore we have to go. In fact, there's a TikToker by the name of that, by that name, I think maybe
God's Terrarium. Yeah. Have you guys seen the new, I don't know if it's out yet. There's a documentary coming out, right? With supposedly full of engineers and pilots.
Yeah,
claiming the world's flat.
Yeah, that was supposed to be today or 22.
Oh, is that what you guys were talking about before with the date?
Level?
Well,
yes, the next level with ODD and Santos Bukaki.
Yeah. One of the creators was on live with a TikTok flat earther, really flying
Really?
Cormac,
So
and
yeah,
he was so
Santos. Santos is crazy. He said this,
I'm masturbating.
and then he said this.
If you think after watching this that the earth is flat, then you're a degenerate.
That may have been out of context.
I don't think so.
I'm a fucking dickhead, retarded idiot.
I mean, I think I'm stupid.
You know, I want to be a urinator.
So we've got Dim Mac, who is a incredibly well, he self-described pretty well there in the chat, Flat Earther, who's I'm going to be debating a week from today. And he wants somebody to weigh a fart live. That's how smart he is. He says, yeah, gravity's going to pull my fart to the scale so you can weigh it live. Does it sound like he understands physics?
Oh, he's one of those idiots who asks why birds can fly, but water falls to the ground.
Yeah, he doesn't understand. Many flat earthers are incapable of understanding that you can have multiple forces applying to the same object simultaneously. They don't get that.
Yeah, like buoyancy, for instance. They don't.
Buoyancy. You literally cannot have buoyancy without gravity. It is in the equation.
They don't.
It's actually in the description. It's not something that can happen in an inertial frame, and you can see it on the ISS when they hold a bag of bubbles and they just sit there until they jar the bag and move it forward or backwards. And it's you have to have a non-inertial frame in order to demonstrate buoyancy.
You're beyond him with that. Dim Mac also says, yes, you're going to demonstrate orbit in a class so I can see and we can talk about what you show. So he thinks that that you must be able to demonstrate orbit in a classroom, apparently.
So he's another one that asked for straw men, things that can't be done.
Well, here's it's a pretty basic thing. I'll say, tell you what, I will be happy to do that. You get your model first, because you don't get to ask for me to do something that you can't first do. So you get for your model, you get a flat earth model, right? With a dome or not, whatever you want, put water on it. And then since you say gravity doesn't exist, just turn it sideways and make sure the water sticks to it. Demonstrate that for me. If you can't do that, you don't get to make those kinds of demands of me. You do it first.
I ask for even simpler things. Just draw a picture of a flat earth and point to where Sigma Octantis is for me. Just point to it. Point to it.
Right. It's
oh jeez.
Explain to me which south of all the souths does the Southern Cross lead you to if you were sailing?
It's just true perspective. You don't understand.
Oh, okay.
Lack of operational definitions.
Here you go. All right, Earth is Life says, tune, be on the lookout for my top left nomination video. So top left, first of all, you guys probably are familiar with the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much.
And flat earthers
very much.
Flat earthers excel in a very few things, but being Dunning-Kruger is one of them. On the left side of the scale is people that don't understand things. On the bottom of the scale is people that are not confident. At the top of the scale is people that are very confident. So top left would be people that don't know anything and are super confident about what they don't know. So we have an award, the top left award, for the whoever best embodies the dumbest and most confident at the same time. So last week we had our nominations. Right. So Earth is Life is a little behind on getting the nominations, and we have a list of who's nominated. On next Tuesday goes live a set of videos so to vote on who your top left person is, you give a thumbs up on the video and you watch it, which means you can vote multiple times by just watching the video multiple times. We say vote early, vote often. Definitely approve of doing whatever you can to cheat. As long as you don't pay to have some fake thing drive views to it, because that hurts our channels. Anyway, so that's we've done that already, but I'm sure some of these people you would you definitely love them. But there's a whole different ecosystem on TikTok.
Sounds painful. Is this going to be painful?
Well, I think you'd think for them to be at the tip of that very pointy peak of Mount Stupid, that it would hurt to be, but they're used to hoisting themselves on their own petard, so it's a familiar feeling.
I mean, me. Is this going to be painful for me to watch? I know it's
the videos are funny. The voting videos are pretty fun. I've gotten some already,
Julius, so I'll check it out.
Julius is still in the he really deep down cares, and I was there too, but you have to move on, and you'll get there one day.
I know.
I now just mock because there's nothing left to do but mock. Okay, and then enjoy the mocking. Just enjoy it. That's it.
I'm trying to get there, but I want to, it's like I have to turn on my empathy engine in order to evaluate their claims sometime. It's like it's suspending belief, disbelief, whatever you want to call it. But you're right.
But Julius, I like what you said though before. I've told you this. Like, we got to hold these people not to the level that we think they're at. Like, we got to understand, like, they can't even understand the basics of certain things. So, like, we got to, the way you said it is like, we got to look at them like middle schoolers
who are unruly in a classroom and are just, I remember making that video. I was very frustrated. I was being bombarded, and just the level of,
but I think it's true.
And that was to help me get, and you're right, I was having to cope. That was how I coped.
You listen to yourself, because it's funny Dean mentioned that, because I remember
you're right.
that video, and that sticks out in my head all the time too. I always tell myself that, and I remember you saying that you have to understand that they can't understand the words we're saying. They can't do it. No matter how much, I mean, the majority of them can't. Some of them probably can, but they're willfully ignorant.
And at the same time, think that they are smarter than all the scientists in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Which is evident by their immense emoji use.
Emojis are definitely.
You think these Apollo pictures are real? Emoji.
Clown emoji.
That's because that's not an argument though, but they think it is. Let's see. Dim Mac. Let's see. No physical globes are cool, impossible globes. How is your globe impossible physically? Any we on Earth?
What?
Can we have that translated, please?
Is there a
walk
flirt
across the keyboard?
My non-exstat globe I've been looking for orbit globe's gravity tilt.
What?
This is the mindset of somebody that thinks he's smarter than all scientists.
Hold on. Let me get a major head wound, and then maybe I can interpret that.
Well, so I mean, I can generate. I got the flat Earth theory generator right here.
Oh, I love it.
He just gave us.
I'll read you an entry. May I?
Yes. We'll compete between you, this fake one, and Dim Mac, who's for real.
So Dr. Richard Gilmore, PhD, flat Earth scientist, lecturer at the Libertas University of Biodynamic Agriculture, author of Daddy's Globe Turd Roommate, says the Earth is flat plane encased in a dome like a giant snow globe. Our observations of the stars make it evident not only that the Earth is circular, but that it is a circle of no great size. They even emulate the bad punctuation. For quite a small change in position to south or north causes manifest alteration of the horizon. Donald Trump as a disruptor, as opposed to another established Republican and no doubt supporter of flat truth, exclamation, space, 2 periods. We must conclude that the Apollo moon landings were faked and that the correct view of the world is the traditional Christian one of the Earth being flat. That's from a generator.
All right, here's from a real human who thinks he's smarter than all the scientists in the world. If you can't produce orbit in a class it doesn't exist, leprechaun globers are all flat Earth proof needed. The made up one is more intelligent.
Yeah, at least it was coherent. That one, it sounded like Sound like he was having a stroke when he wrote that.
You know those things you get on Facebook where it's like, type this and then press the first word on the predictive text.
Right.
Finish it off. That's exactly.
By the way, don't do that. They're trying to get information from you when you do that. As a security guy.
Did it have a space comma in your generated text there?
A space comma.
Space. Yeah, it had
instead of comma space, they do space comma. No space next word.
Yeah, they did a lot of weird, they do a space and then a period because they had to end the sentence with a period after a space after the sentence, and then the period in the capital letter for the next sentence. Yeah.
So all right, here's another one. Here's another one. It's perspective compression smushing the object in the diffraction limit of the limited angle, squishing it due to Rayleigh criterion, and cumulates with bottom-up obstruction.
That's not real. I mean, that's not real.
That doesn't even. Yeah, that doesn't sound.
That's just.
Please tell me that's not real.
That's word salad that said nothing.
Oh, here's another one. Dimac. All right, Dimac has another gem. Gotani, real water and Earth in orbit in a vacuum chamber live. So he thinks.
What?
He thinks that vacuum means no gravity.
Yep, a lot of them do.
So he is such a brilliant scientist, smarter than all the scientists in the world, that doesn't even know that vacuum is not anti-gravity. Nobody thinks that except for him in his illiteracy.
Well, Dr. Willard Faulkner, PhD, flat earth scientist, emeritus professor at the Auroran University of Autodynamics, author of the pop-up book of Flat Earth Science, says that the planet Jupiter is made of cheese. If the Earth were in fact a globe, the Illuminati are known to have control over NASA. Sick. It follows that the whole globe thing is a myth, a dream, a delusion. So there's the competing generated.
It's more intelligent. All right. So I named this Globers of TikTok Untie instead of Unite on purpose. Partially because a lot of people in my audience, I bet yours too, and I bet some of you are definitely OCD and would just flag at the misspelling. So a bunch of people have been commenting constantly. Why you misspelled untie? It's anyway, the Sun Express for $5 says untie Titicaca. Lake Titicaca is my favorite lake.
Lake Titicaca.
Look at that. Ben is laughing. Dean's laughing. Everybody's laughing.
Lake Titicaca.
All right. Brian B. Dazzle is here. Now, he has a song. Would you like to hear the song
Yes,
The Earth is Not Flat by B. Dazzle? I'll play a taste of it, and I'll put the link right there is in the chat, and I'll play a little bit of it here.
He Dazzle's an awesome dude.
Yeah.
It's time to end this here once for all. The planet is not flat. It's more like a ball. Can you understand the people running around? It's trying to say that it's flat with a wall that surrounds. But if you read the patent for the Gleason map, in it Gleason said himself is a projection of the globe. Instead they listen to misinforming conspiracies, uneducated tendencies. They help and feed the trolls.
All right. I'm not going to play all of it. You got to go to his channel to hear all of it. Thank you for that. B-Dazzle, he sent it to me a while ago, and I kept meaning to play it, and I just hadn't got to it. So there it is, B-Dazzle. Be sure to go grab that video or the song and listen to it.
The hook is great. If you're on TikTok, guys, you can use it as an audio if you search B-Dazzle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I've made
one, but it's too spicy.
I've made one TikTok video using their software. Everything else I've done on my own editing software and uploaded. So today was the first time I used it, was announcing this stream. So I'm gonna have to play with that.
I wasn't sure that was you. You gotta go in there and change your name.
Yeah,
How do you change your name?
So you have your username, which is Toon, right?
MC Toon, yeah.
MC Tune. Then your profile name though is still the generic one. So I was
looking for how to do that.
You go to edit profile. It's right on, like when you open up your profile, it'll say edit profile.
But if somebody already has that name, can I do it? Because there's already an MC Tune on TikTok, and it's not me.
Which is why I didn't trust you today when I saw your video.
Oh.
Because I was like, he has a generic name. I'm like, I'm not sure this is the guy.
Well, it's I just once I saw you, and then I went and looked at your YouTube video and noticed you had a link to, but and you had sent a response. So
all right, I'll try to fix that. PhD Tony, who's in Australia, which flat earthers think doesn't exist.
That's my line.
Some of them. But of course, I've debated flat earthers who live in Australia and New Zealand and South Africa.
They should be ashamed of themselves.
I mean, they're everywhere. In fact, you look at flat earth trends and you'll see
I've seen that meme. It's inversely proportional to education. PhD Tony says, I'm obsessive about very long baseline interferometry. I'm not OCD. I'm thinking bondage. So, and he had mentioned earlier, are you aware of very long baseline interferometry?
I'm sure is this very long baseline? This is where they combine all of the. They did this with radio telescopes. They tried it with some optical. I'm sorry, I got to think for some reason. My brain went straight to the ether and the Michael Morley experiment and the Sagnac effect, because that's So, but I've heard of it. It's an interesting data. Well, there's a lot of data processing involved. That's extremely complicated. If you want to talk about mathematics that gets even into the level of something that even makes me go, that's that, and the data processing they do with the WMAP data, and the cosmic background stuff. If you're familiar with that, that's also very similar. I think Max Tegmark, his Mathematical Universe, he talks at length about his involvement in that. It's a very interesting book, The Mathematical Universe.
The Very Large Telescope Array. That one, the data. Oof.
So Dimmac gives us another gem here. Where's dirt and water? Lol, conforming. Where's your Earth curve stencil? He's just a living one in there. He's a living meme.
Did you say you're debating him next week?
Yeah.
It's gonna be like beating up my 4-year-old.
Yeah. I know.
How do you debate someone you can't understand what they're saying?
It's mean to pick
it's
on
just
the
for
handicap.
comedy. It's just for comedy.
Oh, good. All right.
PhD Tony again comes back with, we use it for both astronomy and astronometry.
Astrometry.
And geodesy. It's very good for accurately determining the shape of the Earth.
Yeah, that's the biggest, if you were to give a definition, is that all of the flat earthers are astrometrically and geodetically mentally inadequate to the task. They do not have the brain power to understand that.
No.
They hear, Neil deGrasse says it's a bear.
There's this it's somewhere in Spanish. There's a flat Earth documentary going around, It's all done in some South American
Convex
country or
Earth
something.
documentary.
Convex Earth. That's it. I'm bad with names, but yes, Convex Earth.
Yeah, it's a mockumentary actually. They don't realize it. In part 2, the people are talking to an alien that's inside of a bush. His name is Bilu.
Come on, you're not serious.
I'm serious. Go watch the whole thing and then get the second part where they're talking to the alien who's giving them instructions. It's in a bush.
I'm writing this down right now.
Don't you guys wish that in the end, this is how I feel, that in the end these guys will come out and it's like, hey, we were all just kidding. It's just a joke, and I can go back to.
Well, I brought it up because I thought they said something serious. I was going to just like kind of debunk real quick, but that debunks itself. Like they measured the angle of buildings like 3,500 kilometers away or something to see if they tilted away from each other, and they used GPS satellites to measure the building's locations.
Oh, yeah, that's why that's. All right.
And how do you tell the position of the bottom of the building versus the top from a satellite above the image?
Yeah, you can't.
They use two coordinates, and of course they're going to be the same when you measure them.
Yeah,
right,
this is
I have to show you
operation.
Here. Just a second. This is my kid's cat that we've been cat sitting, Cotton, and he's very timid. My kid is no longer here. He came to pick him up today, and I still have him because this guy was hiding. We have a crawl space right underneath where I'm sitting, and he was in it. He always hides in it when it's time to go. So my kids always my kids always hand me cats during the middle of streams or animals. Oh, look at that.
Mine's chilling.
All right, there you go, Cotton.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a cat.
So let's see. I got a couple things here I want to cover here. We've got Waikika Moo Cow says, does the sun need oxygen to burn, and who invented gravity?
Kim,
you got this.
God invented gravity? I don't know.
He's kidding. He's not a flirt.
Thank God.
Bedazzle gave a $1 super chat with no message, so thank you. I've got Harold says, for $2, ask him if he smells burnt toast.
That's dim, Mac, because that's a sign of having a stroke.
Oh, I did not know that.
Wow, that was a deep reference that you just got there. I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh, Stephen Cruz is in chat. Stephen, if you want to come in, we're going to wrap it up in a little bit. But there, I got your email. All right, let me send it to you. You can come in for a few more minutes. Oh, the cat's gone.
I noticed that Nick left. Did he announce his departure, or did he just drop off?
He just, yeah.
Okay.
Just dropped off. All right, so we got the email sent with the Zoom link. Mr. QTube, first name Fa, says there. I'm dyslexic. The title looks fine to me. Bedazzle says, for $2, thanks for the plug. What's up, guys? Maybe could you guys, in your best rapper version, give him a what's up back?
You may have 4 of the whitest guys on this thing.
Can you do like,
I don't know,
do something like that? Just,
well, I'll tell you this.
Got it.
I might be blowing. I might be blowing the secret, but at least 2 of us on this thing are in Bedazzle's music video for that.
Yeah, I was wondering when that was going to come out.
Is the video out?
No, it's not. He hasn't finished it yet.
Still putting it together.
So wait, are you?
I gotta send him my video.
Please tell me that you're please tell me you're not dancing.
We're not.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Dancing.
Well, it's more like.
Off.
Yeah. No.
No, it's more angry yelling at the screen is what it kind of is.
Yeah, it's
angry yelling.
That kind of thing. Throwing your hands up in front of the camera and talking to the camera like that.
Yep. I basically know all of my rap from watching Weird Al because he's like the bestest rapper.
Nothing more white has ever been said.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's odd because I'm related to Weird Al.
Oh, is your middle name Weird as well?
No,
How are you related to Weird Al?
He's part of my cousins. I've been to family reunions out here in Pennsylvania where he's been.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you hook me up? Every year for several years on my son's birthday, the son who owns that cat, my friend and I watch UHF and eat a Twinkie Wiener sandwich.
Oh.
And we've never missed a year since we started it when my kid was one or two, but every single year. And so we've each had now the same number of Twinkie Wiener sandwiches as he is old. And when he gets to 27, we want to eat our final Twinkie Wiener sandwich, but we want Weird Al to be there. So I need you to hook me up. We'll talk later. All right.
A winky, one of those. Never mind.
Twinkie Wiener sandwich.
Twinkie Wiener sandwiches. Yes. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I can't.
Do you enjoy them? Do you enjoy them too?
No, I enjoy not having diabetes.
Yeah.
So you cut the Twinkie open, you put the hot dog in it like it's a bun, put on some easy cheese, dip it in milk, and eat it. I don't know what's not to love.
Heart disease, yeah.
I'm working on it.
All right, so we're waiting for Steven.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Disagreeable.
Is it
disagree?
Disrespectfully disagree.
That's
yeah.
He's a character.
I had a guy, was it last week? 2 weeks ago. When did I have the guy formerly known as Sizzle Deft? SOM. He said he's from Africa. And he said he's gonna disagree to disagree. Or no, disagree to agree. He didn't quite understand the phrase. He got it wrong. He said disagree to agree. But not tongue in cheek. He really meant it. All right. Do we have any more from Mr. Dim?
Mo is in there shouting rubbish as well.
Who's that?
Who is it?
Sifu Smo.
Oh, he's the guy that was just on before. He's a fake.
You're talking about oh my goodness.
Dion, yeah.
Yeah, that was hard to listen to. I was like, oh my God, yeah.
I can give you a little more wisdom from Dim. Let's see. Wed im at work twos. I asked if we could debate on Tuesday. And he says, I debate physical demonstrable spears or anything that can be demonstrated about a globe on Earth. The ground only debate. There's no physics to prove a ball, nothing else, only reality of what about the globe we can we physically use to demonstrate all or any globe claims has. Oh, demonstrations, only excuses. Hope you're ready.
Someone
misspelled your.
Someone needs to check on it and make sure his face ain't drooping.
I smell burnt toast after that.
I think I'm about to go to bed. Tell him shut the hell up. Put an app on your freaking phone. Go up to 39,000 feet. Measure the damn dip from the astronomical to the terrestrial horizon. Enough. Damn it.
Oh, we got a gem right here from his. All you flat Earth provers are cool, sad no globe demonstrations on Earth.
Yeah, see, so he's one of those dimwits that tag you in nonstop videos, never make a point, and claim they've won without ever having even made a point.
This is the pigeon.
That's playing
You're
pigeons.
playing chess with a pigeon who's crapping all over the board, knocking over the pieces, flying away, and declaring victory.
Oh. All right.
I don't know where that came from, by the way. That's not mine. Somebody brilliantly threw that into one of my videos.
It was a meme on Facebook years ago.
Yeah,
The pigeon
apparently.
chess?
The pigeon
Yeah.
chess thing, and it was just adapted. So I adopted it. It
works perfectly.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I was talking with a guy about measuring the distance to the moon with radar, which they did in 59 or 1960, just a test to see if they could, and they successfully did it. And he told me they didn't do it, and the U.S. Army did it, I think, or the Navy. It wasn't NASA. But his proof they didn't do it was linking me to a NASA workbook for little kids to solve, or younger kids to solve how to demonstrate to them the distance to the moon and calculate it. And nowhere in that did it mention radar, which was not the purpose of the demonstration anyway. But that was his NASA proof that NASA never used radar to measure the distance to the moon. And they stick to these principles and just claim victory. He was like, I proved you wrong in 2 seconds with a Google search. It's like, well, you're a fucking idiot. No, you didn't.
For one, we've measured. Yeah,
you didn't make a point.
So first of all, that's just one of the ways they've done it. They've also done it through the retroreflectors.
Yeah, well, that's what they do now, right?
The Earth, moon, and then
not only
ham radios.
They do moon bounce with ham radios. That's good. That's one I was going to mention. And not only, and then the optical observation of just watching the moon pass through the Earth's shadow, knowing how.
Right.
There's just.
Well, I didn't want to use the retroreflector example because that requires us to have been on the moon, and they already
got a
don't
ham
believe
here.
that, right?
But I'm planning on, by the way, trying to get my technician license sometime this year. I've got to go, or the general license. I'm hoping to do that. But you know what's funny is that you establish that they put something there when you shoot a laser at it and it comes back. Because the moon wouldn't just send a laser. A retroreflector is designed to send it back.
Well, let's be fair. They did shoot lasers at the moon prior to there being a retroreflector there.
Did they? I did
Yes.
not know that.
I don't know if they did. There's radar. For sure.
Well, okay, so radar I would understand, but globe
Radar they did too, but radar just bounces back. They did shoot lasers at the moon prior to retroreflectors,
and they were able to get a signal back.
They got a signal back, but it was very weak,
faint. Okay,
it was very faint, and they couldn't get an accurate reading of the distance.
Okay, well, fair enough. I learned something new every day. No, that's good.
Yeah. I only know that because a Flurf tagged me in something, that was proof that there aren't retroreflectors there now.
Oh,
That's a non sequitur, of course.
That's a non sequitur.
Yeah.
Forget the fact they didn't look into the data to see that the return signal was weak and they couldn't measure the distance and all that. No, just that's proof there's no retroreflector.
Well, I heard it was hard enough for them to do it with the retroreflector. I don't know if you watched some of the videos of them talking about it. It's hard enough.
They only get like a trillionth of the signal back.
Yeah.
So here is I have a large number of I'm trying to share it to you. Give me a second. I don't know where Steven's at. So this
his cat.
This is Reflections of Microwaves from the Moon.
Oh, it's a Springer tank.
1947.
Yeah.
Nice.
And when was
they did this on Venus too, by the way. They did
5 meter mic. Yeah, they did do Venus. That's what I was going to say earlier. We used the big telescope, that big one, to do it before it collapsed.
The Arecibo? Talk
the
about the one that,
Arecibo.
yeah, the Arecibo. Did I pronounce that correctly?
I think that's how it's pronounced, Arecibo.
Yeah, Arecibo. That's
and we were able to get surface mapping of Venus.
Crazy.
Oh yeah. So anyway, so here it is, 1947. When was NASA created? Not 1947.
Well, yeah. I mean,
NASA.
look,
58.
Yeah, 1958.
Well, y'all saw those videos. Y'all remember the videos that I did of the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. You know, it's the one of those that I always bring out. I trot out whenever they talk about this, and it's 1867, you know, annual register, which shows you all of the courses and, you know, the people that got top of the class or whatever. And TikTok always flags it for processing every single time I do it, why I hate bringing it out. But it showed, you know, they talked about all of the, you know, the dip of the horizon and all of the things that they say we didn't know about or supposedly didn't teach, you know, and Kepler's laws, gravitation, the use of maps and globes, spherical trigonometry. Yeah.
The distance to the moon thing is something me and Dean were planning on doing probably in like the next. When do you get your new telescope? So we're gonna do.
Everything's on back order right now, so
yeah,
I don't know.
There's a phenomenon called libration, which is where, because the moon is tidally locked, but it
there's a little
but it wobble. I know
yeah.
people hate the term, but it's a slight wobble.
It
Over
appears as
time,
well,
if you were to think of it over time, because the tidal lock it's put. I guess you could think of it as an oscillator. I'm not, but I know it's a phenomenon that you can that confuse. It's another confusing thing to flat earthers. Among
What's
many,
not confusing,
right?
So, all right, I don't think we should hold out for Steven.
I'm probably about to.
Yeah.
I'm getting sleepy.
Let me give you this one. Sleeping Warrior is a very in his own head prominent flat earther. He said, "We insist on science and filter out mathematics by applying science. You just don't understand science. Mathematics is correlative and has no value in science." So he cannot do math. He thinks that math is actually not valuable, and it's all fake. He does this by saying, if you have 3 ice creams, can I take away 5 ice creams?
Math is a tool, you fucking tool.
Yeah.
Would you like some ranch with that word salad?
Right.
I mean, you know, it's like mathematics, because we're just going to go and pick the tallest guy in the schoolyard and knock him down, and then that's it. You know, it's just this is what they do.
Understand it, yeah.
I mean, math is a tool.
Math is a tool, yeah. Why do stars change so slowly in the sky based on our movements? Well, why that shouldn't happen?
Flat earthers declare that the stars have never moved.
Oh, well, yeah, of course they have, right? Because, you know, they know that. But, you know, here's the globe model.
Geological processes of time gives a fuck about what they believe.
Well, okay, so I made a video about, you know, I scaled it down. I said, if you were to imagine yourself in a large field, and, you know, just a large open field, and you have a walkway that's what, 20, I think it was 20 feet in diameter. And that's the orbit of the Earth around the sun. 20 feet diameter. The nearest star is 958 miles away. And all of its companions, or whatever, on average, are going to be probably another 958 or more away from each other.
Julie, it's simpler than that. It's simpler than that. You could use the driving down the road analogy. Like, look at the guardrail right next to you. Look how fucking fast it's moving compared to objects that are farther off in the distance.
Yeah, but then they use that as an example for showing why the moon's local. Why is it following me? I'm just you understand. Okay,
It's
I
too
get your point.
complicated.
I get your point, Dean, and you're absolutely correct. Why is it that these things are close, they move, but the things that are far away are distant?
Well,
And that's
they
totally
don't.
fine.
Yeah, that's another thing. They don't even understand parallax.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's, and you understand that's a sickness, because I think that's a mental illness. It's a contagious mental illness.
It's called
Is it?
dyscalculia.
Yeah, it's because I've sat and tried to think like them so much that people say something, I go, well, that doesn't make any sense. I got to make it make sense to a flat earther. How am I going to do that?
It's too hard to think that stupidly. It honestly is.
It really
I've gotten many things wrong because I assume from the terms of like why did Don Petit say that we destroyed the technology, right? We understand what he means. The technology's still there. It's physically still there. We can see it and touch it, right? So he didn't mean it's physically destroyed, right? He's talking metaphorically. The
he's talking like
cancellation
the
of
means of
Apollo's program.
manufacturing.
Well, they redesigned
cancellation
you.
The
They
cancellation of
redesigned
Apollo's
the
program
F1
canceled
engine.
it.
You know, the video the guy talked about, it's not about it'd be like going back and saying, yeah, let's go rebuild the ENIAC. We lost the technology on how to build the ENIAC.
Therefore, it doesn't exist.
Vacuum
But hold on,
tubes and
everybody.
relays.
But hold on, guys. That's your problem. So you're doing what I did, right? But you have to understand they're starting with the fact that NASA lies and that we never went to the moon. We never went to the moon. So when that guy says that, they say he means we never had the technology.
I see your.
See, I'm thinking logically the options of what he meant by his words.
Well, you out thought the flat floor. I thought you know what? I didn't even.
You have to dumb it down. Whenever you think you've dumbed it down some more. And
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Hey, Steve.
What's up, Steve?
Oh man,
what's up, guys?
we had a great talk.
Yeah, I've been trying
Glad
to get
you made
on
it,
for,
Steve.
Yeah, sorry, dude. I had not my cat, Julius, my dog.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Steve. I've had a long day, and all I saw was cats.
And I'm a character, huh? I'm a character.
Yeah, your character. I said you were. I didn't say anything bad about you.
No, I know. I love you. Love you.
Yeah, love you too, man. Yeah, I'm sorry about your dog. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know.
I had to take my dog to the vet today, and she had a spinal injury, and she could be paralyzed. So
yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
But hey, you know what? It's all right. So what
I knew I was wrong when I said I thought I was like, was it cat? But it's because Mike has been throwing. He had his cat, and everybody's talking about cats, and so that's just went into my head. I don't know why.
I've had two cats and a guinea pig on here, right?
Yeah. And plus,
I saw your cat.
Yeah. Plus, I should remember that Steve likes dogs.
I love dogs.
Steve is not a cat person. I should have remembered that. Sorry, Steve.
Yeah. Well, we're all not perfect.
I'm a cat person. I just think dogs are superior.
Yes.
I think dogs are superior.
So Steve, we're talking about stuff right up your alley. We're talking about how dumb flirfs are. And
my favorite.
It's your favorite topic.
Give that man a beer and let him just talk.
He's vicious.
I've had about 5, so we're good.
Julius, if you're tired, if any of you are tired, it's up to you. You can stick around if you want or whatever. But Steve just got here, so we'll stick around a bit longer. I will.
I'll listen to him for a few minutes because I literally do have to go to bed here in a few minutes. But,
so how dumb are flirfs?
Yeah.
It's not a challenge, Flurfs. It is not a challenge.
Well, no, they're mentally challenged. I mean, you can go with that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're especially this guy on TikTok. His name is Dare. Wobie loves it. Wobie loves
Dare I. He takes the award. What are the awards you give out? The top left award?
Top left award, yeah.
He is the TikTok top left award.
He takes the top left award. He is the absolute worst piece of shit on TikTok.
He's like, he's the super confident, and he's like, he holds it.
He is this arrogant.
And he's like walking around. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get him on. I want to debate him on here.
You would destroy him. You would absolutely.
He won't go on any talk. I don't think
Mike,
Goad him.
come on,
Goad him
dude.
for me. Tell him. Oh, you don't have the guts. You would get destroyed. You don't have it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem: is that he's blocking every single person who's a Glober.
Yeah.
He's not blocking me.
He said he did. He said he blocked you. He goes, yeah, the guy with the glasses, the Harry Potter glasses. I'm blocking him too.
Oh, thank God.
Wait,
Thank
the little pointy faced dude that always is wearing that beanie with the hoodie.
Fucking Pinocchio.
Is making fun of somebody else.
Okay, guys, easy.
Well, hold on, wait a minute.
I mean,
we can hold on.
okay,
I'm sorry.
No, I'll let you go, Steve. We're not on TikTok.
It's best if you don't. It's best if you don't swear.
I was gonna say, well, can we swear on YouTube or
you can, but
it's
YouTube
different.
YouTube promotes it better if you don't. So I appreciate if you don't.
Okay. All right. My bad. All right. This and moron. He is an absolute idiot, and he. Oh my God.
It's going to be so hard for him to talk right now without swearing.
It's going to be so difficult.
You just shut down, Steve.
Yeah, I should just leave
Wait,
this fucking.
Steve,
leave this.
I'm gonna make you smell burnt toast, Steve. Dim Mac has just said, "Got any 9-mile holes?" Because he thinks that because the deepest hole ever dug is 7 miles, therefore he thinks the Earth cannot be a globe. That's how smart he is.
How's that prove
he's an intelligent one? Oh boy, this guy.
Did he spell all
Nobel
that
Peace
right?
Prize.
I want to know if he spelled all that right.
No, he can't spell right. I hope he lives in not America, and I hope that his first language is not American, because if it is, it's really bad.
Well, I think a lot of this, and I know a lot of people will get mad at me for saying this, but there are there's other nation states that we're competitors with that would like for us to end our space program.
Yeah.
And I'll just leave it at that, because if I go any further, I start to sound like them. But I start thinking about this from a practical point of view.
Here, you know what? I have a question that's been kind of on my mind here. What's going to happen? What do you think the flurfers are going to say when we go back to the moon on Artemis? CGI?
Yeah, just fake.
I mean, honestly, what do you guys think they're going to say?
They just say fake, yeah.
For the first landing.
Well, what do they say about ISS right now? Just take that and extrapolate that.
Yeah. What do they say about the Blue Origin, Virgin Galactic? It's the same thing.
Yeah, they're going to say why wasn't there? They're going to say why wasn't there video of them actually landing? Or if there is video of them landing, they'll say why is the video pointing down and not up? And if the video is pointing up and showing it landing, they'll say why is it pointing up and not down?
Yeah, it's a whatever. Yeah,
right.
Well, here's the thing with the ISS, right? Now,
and if you get it, let me finish. Let me just add to Globy. And if they do everything, they're going, how in the world did they do everything?
Yeah.
Right. Well, here's the thing with the ISS that I've noticed. There are some somewhat I don't want to say smart, because no flat earthers are smart, but some somewhat, intelligent flat earthers that have some sort of basic, a basic brain in their head. They know the ISS exists. They just argue about the height of it. Like Pax Wanama Bear on TikTok.
Oh God, no, not him.
He knows. He knows the ISS. He knows the ISS exists. He knows that it's there because he can see it with his naked eye. So he's not stupid. He's like, well, it's not 250 miles.
Have him plot its orbit on a flat Earth. Watch the video, point where it's been, and put it on a flat Earth and see if it works.
He'd never do that.
He can't.
Yeah, I mean, of course. Yeah,
so that goes back.
He can't do that.
Yeah.
That goes back to the subset of flat earthers who think there are things up there, but are 100% certain that NASA has admitted that we can't leave low Earth orbit. Somehow that fits into their flat Earth model. I don't know how.
Yeah.
But
helium balloons.
Because they take everything that NASA says out of context. They say, well, we can't get to low Earth orbit, or we can't. Well, because we don't have, or we do have the technology. We have Artemis now. And
No, but
I had one guy.
yeah.
I had one guy on my channel. He said something about, well, why don't they say you can go back to the moon with Artemis? I'm like, he says we can return to the moon. Same thing, you dumbass piece of shit. Whatever.
yeah, they're talking about people. We don't have the vehicles to safely bring human beings out into space, land them on a planet, lift them back off that planet, and return them safely. Well, we do with Artemis, but it's in testing.
This is not interstellar.
Something again.
We're testing the equipment.
If we went to the moon, there would be a number one. Laugh out loud. Nope. Sorry.
There would be a number one. Is he thinking that somebody would have cut a whiz on the moon?
Yeah. Eventually, they have to go number two.
Well, I was going to say, well, aren't there a bunch of bags of crap on the moon?
Yeah,
Yep.
96.
Yeah.
96. I love that there's a specific known number. That's how freaking detailed they were in these missions, that they know exactly the number of bags of crap sitting on the moon. And these idiots, these
posterity.
absolute monster idiots are like, nuh-uh. That's all they have.
Oh,
They lost all the telemetry data.
Yeah, they lost all the data, right? And they also have the edited video.
Hold on. They only lost the telemetry for Apollo 11. What about 12, 13, 14, 15? All of them are there except for 11.
Yeah. Okay. So, hey, listen, Mike, this is a question I had for you. So, and I think me and Julius talked about this. So they do have the telemetry data for Apollo 12 and all that stuff. They just don't have it for 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just had to overwrite the data. They overwrote they had tape archive.
They
reused the tape archive. I mean, that stuff was cheap.
Because they don't understand how expensive storage was at that time.
They don't even know what telemetry data is.
No, they don't.
That's the key.
On, Mike.
What is the data that is missing? Number one. Number two, if they were to show you the telemetry data for Apollo 11, would you then change your mind? Because if you would not change your mind, then it doesn't make any sense to bring it up. And then, oh, look, here's the telemetry data for Apollo 12. So you don't have an actual argument for it because it's there for all the other missions. So at best, you can apply that to only one mission. Okay, fine. Ignore that mission. Look at the others.
Yeah, Apollo 17 and Apollo 16, 15. God.
But and then at what point they had fuel, right? And what levels their fuel were on the way there, and what temperature the cabin was, and
the heart rate of the astronauts.
Right. It's I mean, and then it's the same kind of art. It's the same thing they do when they disingenuously ask for, show me a real picture of the Earth, and you just go, okay, here it is.
Fake.
Here's like
fake.
Here's 10. Take it with a Hasselblad camera, 70 millimeter lens, EL camera. And they go, well, that film couldn't have passed through the radiation belts.
There was amateur radio guys who actually picked up the actual transmissions on the moon and was listening to them.
I saw that.
Each other.
Fascinating.
Not the transmissions back to Earth, but between themselves.
Yep. And they lost that signal when the moon went over the horizon.
Yeah.
All right, let me interrupt this with another gem. Free to mark in the moon dirt. CUNT. They loose their smarts, lol.
I've got a question for Dim.
That guy thinks he's smarter than all the scientists in the world.
Try that again.
Are you want me to read that again?
I need a translator.
Free to mark in the moon dirt, CUNT. They loose They're smarts. Lol.
Free
Guys,
to
I
mark
smell
in the
burnt
moon dirt.
toast.
Free to
I
mark in
smell
the moon
burnt
dirt.
toast.
Is he talking about the boot footprints in the dirt?
I think it refers to
Oh,
him asking there would be a number 1 on the moon. So he thinks that they're gonna like, you know, drag their foot across the dirt to make a huge number 1 in the moon.
Oh, do you think? Oh, that's a good guess as to what he might. Hey, that reminds me, Mr. QTube, first name Fa, for $5 earlier said, "I have a Flurf to English dictionary. Place your order today."
Fantastic. I'll need
I'd
it.
buy that. Yeah, I will definitely buy that. Send me the link. What's it on Etsy, eBay?
Yeah, there
Send
we
me
go.
that link.
Derp, derp, derp,
Please.
derp.
Yeah, derp, derp, derp.
Mark, can you put both your arms out level, or does one like drop down? Is one side of your face dropping?
Is it droopy?
Do you need us to call 911?
Call urgent care, bro.
He clarified a line in the dirt.
He's going to have to make it larger than a damn football field because that's the smallest thing that you can actually.
Wait. No, well, from
you're
the
talking
moon,
about
you
the
need
resolving
you need many
issue of,
miles big to see it. Hold
That's
on a
what I'm
second.
saying.
He thinks that we should definitely have drawn a line in the dirt on the moon big enough to see from Earth, maybe with our own bare eyes. So
Yeah,
something
that's
that's
gonna be-
hundreds of miles long. So they should have brought up tractors
That can't be what he's
to
saying.
cultivate the soil so that
Jesus
they could
Christ.
draw marks on it and deface the moon. Wow, you're so smart. Smarter than all the scientists on the Earth there, man. You really got it.
Well, he
what
obviously
are you
doesn't understand the Rayleigh
This guy needs a Nobel
criterion.
Peace Prize. This guy's a genius, bro. Oh my god, I have to meet him. I mean, he's
Yes,
he's a
one.
genius.
Yes, a big one in the dirt from a rover.
And you know what? If you look at the LRO pictures, you can see the actual track marks that they made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lunar reconnaissance.
Idiot.
But that's not good enough for DimMac. He thinks you
No,
need to have
because it's
Oh, of
fake.
course not.
Yeah.
That's opposition controlled. You know, the LRO found a previous lost Soviet rover. You guys hear that? Or a few years ago, right? It had a retroreflector on it, so now they're bouncing lasers off that previously lost rover. That's pretty cool
Is that
stuff.
the one that tipped over on its side?
I don't think so, because I wouldn't think they'd be able to bounce lasers off of it.
All right, hold on. Live chat. Hold on. Moderators. I will handle 100% of DimMac, okay? Do not time him out. Do not delete his messages or you'll lose your wrench. Got it? I'm not kidding you. You lose your wrench if you mess with any of those. They're mine only. Okay.
He's VIP.
Who's this DimMac idiot?
He's coming on
Not
next
even
week.
looking.
It's genius. It is genius derpery. I love it.
I'm looking through my and by the way, I hate doing this. It's one of my least favorite activities, but it's looking through my TikTok notifications and idiocy. And right now I've got one that just triggered me. But anyways.
Oh, what is it? What is it? Tell me.
Jesus.
Come on.
It's sad, Dedekind. It's sad you believe these fairy tales. Guess who that is? I just said his name.
Dare?
Wait.
Dare?
Whose timeline?
Oh,
William.
my buddy, the guy who got me banned from TikTok Live.
Yeah.
For a week.
And then here I got another one. The
In
guy.
his defense, you did repeatedly call him the R word.
Yeah.
I did.
I remember that. I was in that live.
And you know what? You know what irritates? Okay, this is what gets me. I start to wonder. It's when they go one after the other, after the other, after the other, and it's all in a line.
It's a mental disability. Yeah, they
and
have
it's
a
just
problem.
like, I'm like, okay, I'm backing away slowly now. I really don't want to deal with those people. Don't tag me on crazy, guys. Anybody listening? Don't tag me on crazy. I mean, I know they're crazy already, but there's a spectrum. And the ones that do that leave one after the other, obsessively, the meth-fueled rage, I can't deal with it.
You know what? That's why I
Transparent man
quit.
does that
That's
to
why I
me.
quit tagging pretty much anyone. I quit tagging
Well,
Globy or you, Julius, or any of them, because I just realized, like, when I come across these, I go and check, and if
Yeah.
it's the same nonsense that I've seen a million times before, I'm just like, not
Yeah.
worth my fucking time. It's not worth
Well,
it.
and some of them, what I'll do is I'll just pick one and I'll respond to it. But you know, it's hard to look through it. It's like insta heartburn when I look at it, and I've tried to make it to, you know, I'm on Prilosec and blood pressure medicines and all kinds of crap, and I'm just like triglyceride low. I'm like, this is not helping. You guys are gonna kill me, and I'm like, don't tag me on crazy. I'm okay with the guys that come in and say one thing and they leave. You know, they're the little bird that shits and flies away. Okay, I can do that. But it's the one that hangs out and sits there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, like your little stalker buddy.
He created 10, 12, 15. I lost count. 15
Fucking
accounts.
Julius, you need to find your Zen.
Oh, I find it every now and then. I just lose
do we
it.
need to send you some candles and a little sand thing so you can draw some lines in it? Send
him some alcohol.
Julius, you got to enjoy the small things in life. Like when Transparent Man tags me, Serial, like you do, like you're saying, Serial tags me in all these videos. And every tag he says, now I've debunked you 105 times. Now I've debunked you 106 times. The videos never make sense.
I don't think I've ever had that. That he counts how many times he's tagged you and
He
tells
counts how
you.
many times. Yep. But the best part was his last tag was in my video that I made of the infrared shot
to debunk
of Mount
his
St. Jacinto in California. And his response was, hey, Globy, try to explain this one.
It was your video.
Here's
my video. You dumbass. Sorry.
Here's a serious question.
Great.
Has anybody on TikTok, have you guys ever debunked the laser tests?
Well, that's them living in the margins. I mean,
we actually put out a video.
I mean, but have we done a video? I've alluded to it. You know, it's like when they start talking about a laser over a cold lake early in the morning with a huge temperature differential. You know, it's like, yeah, there's no refraction there.
So yeah, it is about the temperature gradient. I always ask them, did you measure the lapse rate? Because you only need 1 degree Celsius of vertical change over 10 meters to have the laser curve at about a 4,000 degree radius or 4,000 mile radius. So at that, and that's not hard to do really close to the surface. So when they get the camera down farther, they're greatly taking advantage of the higher lapse rate down there. Intentional. I don't know if it's. They don't know. They don't understand it. They're not capable of understanding it, but they are unwittingly using the refraction wrongly, and then proudly declaring that refraction is not happening.
Yeah, I think some of them know what they're doing, and you know the ones that are
they're not that smart.
You don't think so?
Nope. None are that smart. Exactly
then
none.
Yeah, and then when you explain it to them, and they go, well, but there's a laser, there's a laser. You know, it's like
most of them don't use collimators. You know,
there's beam divergence. There's all kinds of variables that you have to.
All you need to look at for them every time, lapse rate, the vertical temperature gradient. That's all you need.
Right. That's and that's one of the things that you mentioned, and they go, "Oh, your magic refraction."
Yeah, well, FE Core does them and doesn't show the data. They don't show the data.
FE Core did show the data.
Oh, they did.
FE Core did measure. Yes, experiment 5, 6, 7.
I love.
They measured the temperature at the water level and the temperature 1 or 2 meters up, and it changed by a degree in 1 meter. You only need a degree in 10 meters. They had it in 1 meter.
Yeah.
The coefficient of refraction is exceedingly high.
Yeah.
And they didn't even understand what that was.
No, they never did. And they have fake Professor John D, fake Dr. John D, who has a degree, they say, in some optics-based field, who doesn't know how to apply refraction at all. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
We have another
here we go.
gift. We have another gift. Waterfalls go up and down on a globe. Cool GKT. Any videos live? So he thinks that waterfalls should go up and down. Water wouldn't ever tilt gravity about hold on to the center of gravity.
Hey, can I ask you a
I
question?
literally was just at a water, like one of my newest videos was at my local waterfall.
Water should go uphill on a globe. Can we see that spider water gravity globe?
Why do
So
I smell
look,
burnt
I know
toast
this is a
every time
thing
I
with
hear
flat
one of these
earthers.
comments?
Some flat earthers think water goes uphill on a globe, but why?
Oh, Jesus.
Why? Where are they even getting that from? Is it just because north is up?
No. That too, but they conflate.
I know what it is, because
curve and elevation. They don't know the difference.
They think curvature is always like they think there's like the opposite direction of curvature, like
because the water
it's not radially away from you. Curvature, it's curving, like if you're here on the globe, this is up.
Because perspective makes things rise, so they think that the horizon's going up. Is that it?
No, it is harder. It hurts you once you understand it.
Hold on, look, I'll show you. They think like,
okay, go ahead.
Here, you got the globe here. They think if you're standing like on it, right? They think because this is what we would call like north is up or like whatever. They think that's curving up.
Some think that, but it's worse.
It's worse than that.
It's worse.
It's got to be.
They don't know the difference between elevation and curve. So just yesterday, a guy was saying, Florida, Lake Okeechobee is 12 feet above sea level, but it's 40 miles from the ocean. Then they go and they apply the wrong formula, 8 inches per mile squared, and they get for 40 miles, and they say, oh, there should be this much curvature, but it's only 12 feet. They're like, it should be 400 feet of curvature over 40 miles, but it's only 12 feet of elevation change. They don't know the difference between curve and elevation.
Yeah, that sounds like that is isomorphic to the water flowing off the basketball onto the ground.
Here we have Dim Mac. Curve is only downward tilt. That's how stupid he is. He really is that stupid, people.
Curve is only downward tilt.
Yeah,
I can't even think that stupidly.
Yeah.
Well, it's not understanding that the gravitational potential is around the center of mass of the Earth, and that these levels are level sets of a gravitational potential. God.
Yeah, so that's it goes back. So that Lake Michigan, that Lake Michigan Chicago observation that I debunked. I started off by using the elevation above sea level of the dune he was standing on.
Yeah,
which I think was 738 feet above sea level.
Right,
and then I used Chicago sea level, which is 595 feet.
Yeah, it's about 180 feet difference.
Right, but I just was using sea level elevations, and did that mess them up? Oh, that's sea level. You can't use that. You have to use lake elevation. And I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. I'll do the lake elevation.
Yeah, set the lake at 0. That's the way to do it.
That's what I did. I set the lake at 0, and I said, look, here's the elevation on this side. I did that. I fell into that same trap, Globey, and I started looking at it.
That was the trap, though, because I did change it to what they wanted.
Right.
And they wouldn't look at that, right?
Yeah.
They just focused on the elevation I was using first, as if I was lying.
No, they want to freeze your attempt to fix the model and make sure that it's understandable. They want to use that as you went back and changed something. It's like no, we can pick our 0 wherever you want, but we got to be consistent about it. And if you say that you want to pick a 0 here, okay, let's use that. But if you're not going to do that, but remember that lake is also physically blocking stuff, so you got to count for its height.
Right.
And
Right, which is why I put the lake elevation in there at the end of the calculation.
Right.
That was too confusing for them.
No, once
Here-
once they catch you in what they think is a mistake,
Here-
Here
we go. We got another from DimMac. Elevation is down all around on a ball. No, curve is down, not elevation. Elevation is this. Hold up that ball again, Dean.
Hey, Dim-Mac, are you honestly retarded? Can I ask you that question?
He's gonna get banned
All
off
right,
every
all right.
platform.
There is all right. So that ball, DimMac, right there. See that ball? That surface, that entire surface, everywhere on that surface is 0 elevation. There you go. If you don't understand that, you're not smart enough to even participate in the conversation. But you're welcome to come on here because it's going to be good comedy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you set your 0 at. Like, it don't matter. You could set 0 anywhere.
And he just keeps going. If no tilt, no globe. It's like
it's the same mantra. They go, no curve on the x-axis means no curve on the y. You know, it's because
they're incapable of actually doing what you do in science is to calculate the consequences of your hypothesis. Right? So if the Earth is a globe at just a couple feet above sea level, how much curve left or right should you see if you see, 90 degrees of field of view? How much should you see at 5 degrees or 5 feet up?
Yeah.
They never did that.
Yeah.
They never calculated the consequences of that hypothesis, but they concluded that they did not see curve. They didn't do the work to find out, and they never do because they are incapable of understanding it.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right, especially on that topic because they
100%.
they see horizon drop when they go up, right? We all do. It's measurable, right?
Yes.
But they don't think
they
that's
reject that it
horizon
happens.
drop. They don't think that's horizon drop because they can still see it somehow with their eyes.
Well, to them, eye level is, well, I just stared at the horizon and that's eye level.
They have some warped vision of what going up on a ball should be. Like you live on a basketball. Like we go up 1,000 feet, it should be like falling like a cliff.
Oh, I had somebody says, why is the horizon not dropping below my feet? And I was like, well, what's the book of the little thing boy that's on or whatever on a planet that's like the size of a basketball? Like that's not what you're on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, all right, I'm gonna give you an aneurysm.
I'm gonna hop off.
All right.
Dean, is good to see you.
Thank you, Dean.
have a good one.
Great.
Nice to see you, buddy.
I will. I'm gonna show you this, and then we're gonna go.
Okay.
This is Felipe Rockholt, who I got I got him to buy a solar filter for his camera, and he filmed the sun at sunrise, sunset, in the middle of the day. It was the same size every time I use it in one of my videos, and then he blocked me. This guy here, all right, this is comments on notifications because he deleted these. He deleted these comments later, but we're talking about the drop of the horizon. So he goes to me, go outside and watch the horizon, dummy. I go, what? I don't claim, I state the facts, troll. And because I'm asking about the horizon, because he's saying the horizon didn't dip, and you can see this little picture next to it. It's just a picture of a street, and he went up the street a little bit to increase his elevation above the sea level. And right here,
oh come on,
extra J, jump up and down. The horizon still maintains eye level, dummy. That's how stupid this guy is. He thinks that jumping up and down.
Yeah, you can't argue with that.
Should cause the horizon to drop noticeably. That is how stupid he is.
Yeah, you can't argue with that level of stupid. I showed that horizon drop in a jet's HUD, right, to someone saying this crap. An airplane's HUD, right? You can see eye level and you can see horizon drop. And he said, well, what if that pilot just stands up?
Yeah. They don't understand. They don't understand that HUD has specifically already took care of that problem. Here's a picture I took with the Theodolite app on my phone.
Yeah, nice to see.
Here.
It's good to see. Yeah, and Where were you? You were 35,000, and what's your angle drop? It should be.
Well, that horizontal line is eye level, and
that's right. You didn't point it at the terrestrial horizon,
Yeah,
so
and that's,
you wouldn't
that
actually. But you can
circle-
see that it's above it.
Yeah, that circle is the moon.
Yep.
So if the
And
Earth
if you
is
were
flat,
if you were to aim the crosshairs on the terrestrial horizon,
yeah, it's about a
tell you
3.5, 3.2 at this spot.
it was a 3.2. That's it corresponds to the mathematical model, and they can check that.
Yeah, but they
Right.
think it should be like
Yeah.
at your feet, like you shouldn't even see it. But
Right.
anyway,
This has been great. I've enjoyed this.
I will. A couple of yours are in the live the description. I will try to get all of you send me, and if I missed them, send them to me so that people can go sub to you on TikTok. Anything you want to say before we head out?
Yeah, flat earthers are dumb.
There you go.
That who's the guy who keeps commenting?
Dim Mac. Yep. Yeah, he'll
Dim
be
Mac?
on here
Yeah,
next
yeah.
week.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Yes.
He's a dumbass.
There's
But come support us. I'll say some. Come support us on TikTok because there's an entire war going on over there that you guys on
is
YouTube
there
might
ever?
not be aware of.
Yeah.
So
Is there
Yeah,
ever?
I think the Globe TikTokers are a bit overwhelmed. It's like I think
Especially
TikTok is
Globe.
like YouTube in 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you're
my
100% right.
and my parting comment is this impacts our practical understanding and how we live in the world. So my feeling is that this is dangerous. I don't like messing around with these people. I don't give them any this is not a debate. This is education.
Yeah.
There you go.
The problem is on TikTok, those TikTokers, the flat earth TikTokers, right? They'll blatantly lie, or maybe they're just that stupid, and they post a video and it gets 50,000 views, right?
I know.
And it gets
Well, a lot of
5,000
people may be
likes.
watching it for entertainment, but my point is that we need to be there to give to show
alternative.
people who may come away from that after they're done laughing. They may come away and they go, there was kind of a question there, and I'd like to know the answer to it. And that's where I hope I fill in.
Right,
I'm not.
Which is my
They're-
point exactly. We need support there from everybody because we'll all do debunk videos, and some of them might get 50 likes and 1,000 views, right?
Yeah.
So the counterpoints, the factual counterpoints, don't get nearly as many views as the bullshit. So and that's
It's
just
the bullshit symmetry principle.
Logan, you're 100% right. I've noticed lately that the flat earther content gets just 50,000 more views than our globe content.
Yeah, I feel like TikTok's pushing it. I feel like TikTok pushes it like they
100%.
push,
They
like
know-
YouTube pushed it, right?
No, YouTube didn't push it. They know how to use the algorithm to their benefit.
You're 100% right. They know how to use the hashtags. They know how to use the algorithm to their benefit. But I mean, for instance, there's this guy on there. His name is King Sleeper. Globey knows him. I know him. And he had 40,000 followers maybe a week ago, and now he's up to like 53.
Yep.
I mean, he surpassed me in like a week. I have 52,000, and he's all flat earth. I mean, but yet when I post videos on there now, I'll use the hashtags. I'll try to use the algorithm. It will not get the views. It just will not get the views.
Yeah. This is a whole other discussion, guys. I gotta get out.
All right.
All right. See you later.
Thank you very much for this.
Thank
This
you,
has been
everybody.
fun. Yeah. And we'll see y'all later.
So apparently Glenn Salch wants to debate me. Contact me, mctoon@mctoon.net, if you're serious. Everybody else, thanks a lot. I'll still be here in a minute, Globehead. As soon as I start the outro. So, all right, everybody, thanks a lot. See ya later.